you have to play them differently. You can't just line up and expect to play your normal defense when Deshaun Jackson's on the field, because that's not what you're going to get. So I expect Alshon Jeffrey to have a big game. I expect Zach Ertz to have a big game, because this team, they do not want Deshaun Jackson. Dan Quinn's defense, he does not want Deshaun Jackson to blow it open the way he did last week.
Here is John Russell with an NFL update.
All right, Merrill. In getting a quick start, and you mentioned it, I asked Doug Peterson before the game, I said, do you go over with Carson when you meet with him about the thing? He says, nope, that's in the past. We go over what's going to work this week or what we hope works this week. Now, you guys, I'm sure, have noticed that the roof is open tonight, which I would think is a disadvantage to Atlanta. It's only happened twice since they've been in here, and last year was the first year. The reason I'm told it's open is because NBC wanted the roof open, but it is still noisy. One other thing to consider when now the field conditions, obviously, because you're in a dome for the field goal kicker, is not a problem. Jake Elliott was kicking it from 56. However, you see the logo on the middle of the field. It's tough to kick off the logo because of the paint. And I was told that, and Jake was kind of tentative. It'll be interesting if he has to kick from 55 to 60 if it comes down to winning a game. And the temperature, obviously in a dome, 72 degrees. Back up to you.
Get your propane grill tank delivered to your home. Visit cinch.com and get your first tank exchange for only $10. That's cynch.com. Enter the promo code Reese. Well, it is a beautiful night, Mike. And the crowd will be loud, dome or no dome.
Listen, it's going to take a lot, and I think early, for the Eagles to get this crowd to where they can understand their cadence. And offensively, they've gone with the silent count some this week because they know what they're up against, and they're going to have to be able to communicate non-verbally and make sure that everyone's on the same page. That's going to be a huge factor, especially early in this football game.
Taking a look at the officials, the referee is Brad Allen, the umpire Barry Anderson, the down judge Jim Mello, line judge Brian Bollinger, field judge Steve Zimmer, side judge Jimmy Russell, back judge Greg Yeti, replay official James Oldham, and the replay assistant Yvonne Lewis. We'll be back with the opening kickoff on the Eagles Radio Network. The Eagles in their white jerseys and white pants. Tonight, the Falcons in their bright red jerseys and white pants with their black helmets with the famous Falcon symbol. Falcons coach Dan Quinn in his 5th season, 39-30 overall. But what's interesting is that since winning the NFC title in 2017, the Falcons are 18-18.
Yeah, and they're trying to bounce back from a very disappointing season last season. But they come into this season very healthy. They've got Kevin Ridley back now. He's healthy. Matty Ice, but they've had some problems at the offensive line. Chris Lindstrom, they're missing. So the right side of their offensive line, they've had some issues. And when you have those issues, that's the area where other teams are going to try and exploit. And that's what I expect from Jim Schwartz's defense. I expect them to try and take advantage of the right side of the Falcons' offensive line and break down their protection.
Captains meeting at the center of the field, and we would anticipate that if the Eagles should win the toss, they will defer.
The skilled players for the Falcons, they are healthy, but when you look at the offensive line, they've had to maneuver and make some changes along the offensive line. The Eagles have to be able to take advantage.
It is tails.
Eagles win the toss, and as expected, they do defer. Coin toss brought to you by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Get 24/7 care and support with the free Horizon Blue app from Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Look for it on the App Store or Google Play. Wireless rates may apply. So perfect weather, and you don't usually have to say that in one of these places, but they almost always keep the dome closed. But that's not the case tonight. But nevertheless, it is a beautiful night. It was a beautiful, warm day. Some interesting results throughout the National Football League this afternoon.
You know, Washington started out like last week, started out well, but just couldn't hold on.
Cowboys beat them 31-21. And also in the division, Buffalo beat the Giants 28-14. So the Eagles kick off, and the deep man, former Eagle, Kenyon Borner. Just a terrific young man, was with the Birds between 2015 and 2017.
Well, an Eagles special team coach, Dave Phipp, knows him very, very well. Tutored by Darren Sproles the early part of his career. So they've got to make sure that they close in on him and wrap him up if he has an opportunity to return the ball.
Opening kickoff brought to you by Ford. Ford F-150, the only pickup built with a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy cab and bed. Check it out at your local Ford store today. Ball teed up at the 35. Elliott connects. It is a line drive, and it is out of the end zone. So Borner will be a spectator on that one, and the Falcons will take over from the 35-yard line, going from our right to our left. Let's see if the Eagles' defense can make an immediate statement. Now, you'll remember last week against Washington, they did not. They were porous. 1st and 10, Devontae Freeman, the single setback. Next to Ryan, who sets up in the gun. On 1st down, they give it to Freeman, and Freeman picks up about 2.5 yards, and that is it. He is thrown back as he runs into Zach Brown.
Zach Brown, linebacker, doing a really nice job there. Devontae Freeman gets beyond the line of scrimmage, but just not a lot of space there for him to run. Little hesitation, and when he hesitates, he gets the helmet of Zach Brown.
Freeman stays in this time to the left of Matt Ryan. Slot to the near side, slot to the far side. Ryan goes back, looks right, fires, and completes it, and has a 1st down as he hits Austin Hooper. And you can hear with the hoo for Hooper. And Zach Brown makes the tackle, but the play picks up 7 yards, 7.5 yards, and they pick up the 1st down.
You know, you talk about the wide receivers, but not mentioning Austin Hooper. Excellent tight end out of Stanford. Caught 9 balls last week, a big part of their offense.
This time, Ryan under center. Wing to the far side, slot to the near side. On 1st down, again back to Freeman. Cuts back across the 40 and runs to the 43. Got a tackle from Rodney McLeod, but he also got a good block and picked up 6 yards, putting the Falcons in a 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, up front they have to do a much better job of getting off blocks. You know, this time Timmy Jernigan is getting to the outside, but just not quickly enough to cut off the ball carrier. Carpenter gets a good block on him.
It is 2nd down and 4 at the 43. Freeman behind Ryan, who screens out to the far side of the field. It's Sanu, who spins away from one man and has a 1st down near midfield. He eluded a tackle attempt of Ronald Darby and picked up 6 more yards before Malcolm Jenkins made the definitive stop.
Well, they get Mohamed Sanu over on the wide side of the field, and with all of that space, the Eagles are fortunate that they didn't give up more.
1st and 10 Falcons, who have moved on almost every play. Football up at their own 49. Freeman, the tailback, under center. Ryan, motion to the near side of the field on 1st down. It goes with a quick pitch to Freeman. Gets to the outside. 45 down to the 42. Goes Devontae Freeman, brought down by Sidney Jones, but 9 yards on that carry. And once again in the opening series of the game, the Eagles' defense is clearly on its heels.
Yeah, and it's a play that the Eagles are going to see all through the season because they will stress that defensive end. When they're coming upfield, they will get that motion going opposite and that little quick toss going back towards the defense, and there's a lot of space on the outside to run. When you suck that defensive end in on that wide technique, there's nothing but grass to the outside.
Ito Smith in the game takes a quick pitch, starts up the middle, and he has a 1st down at the 40. Ito Smith, the smaller back, picked up 2 yards, only needed 1, and just like that, they're at the Eagles' 40. We've played over 3 minutes here in the opening quarter, and it is the Falcons taking it to the Eagles, who have not had a solution to the Falcons' ground game. Ito Smith stays in. Slot to the far side. Stocker, wing to the near side. Scrapes along the line of scrimmage. Under center is Ryan. Ryan on first down, looks left, goes over the middle. Complete to Hooper down to the 25. Right over the middle to Hooper, and the tight end was wide open, Mike, before McLeod made the stop.
See, this is Dirk Carter, Matt Ryan's version of the RPO, where they're going to fake the run to the right side, and it pulls the linebacker in, and then there's a wide open Hooper just going down the seam.
Russell Gage to the near side. Stocker and Ridley to the far side. Devontae Freeman takes a pitch and goes right, and he's thrown for a loss back at the 35, and the Eagles finally make a positive defensive play, and it was Brandon Graham, the man on the spot, and that's a 6-yard loss for Atlanta.
Big play by BG. Brandon Graham just getting off of the snap so quickly and up the field into the backfield. The toss is thrown, and Brandon Graham is right there to put Freeman on his back.
This time Smith, Ito Smith, is a wide receiver flanked out to the far side. Slot to the far side. 3 receivers to the near side. Shotgun. 2nd and 16. Back goes Ryan. Fires to the far side. It's incomplete. It was intended on the far side to Ito Smith, and it was broken up on a good hard hit by Ronald Darby, who arrived simultaneously with the ball.
Well, and this is speeding up the tempo of Matt Ryan. He's got pressure coming off the edge in the form of Brandon Graham. Once again, he has to quickly throw the football. It's a bit of an errant throw, but really should have been caught. Ronald Darby closing on the throw.
It is 3rd down and 16 for the Falcons, who have to get to the Eagles 17 for a first down. Ryan in the slot. Ryan calling for the ball as he's deep. He fires to the near side of the field to Ridley, and Ridley is screened in and thrown back for another yard loss. Again, a good play by Sidney Jones in this instance, and the Falcons will bring the field goal unit on.
I tell you what, they moved the ball, the Falcons did, but when it was time to tighten up, the Eagles were able to tighten up. This is an excellent job on the screen play, recognizing, then getting to the football.
This is Matt Bryant's first attempt of the season. It's a 50-yard attempt for the 44-year-old Matt Bryant. In an attempt to put the Falcons on the board and break the ice. The ball is spotted. The kick is away, and the kick is good. 3-0 Atlanta. Timeout on the field with the score. Atlanta 3, the Eagles nothing on the Eagles Radio Network.
Malcolm Jenkins tomorrow 2:30 with Marks and Reese, 94 WIP.
Field conditions are perfect. Brought to you by Delaware Valley Acura dealers. To experience precision-crafted performance for yourself, stop by your local Delaware Valley Acura dealer for a test drive or visit DelawareValleyAcuraDealers.com. You can thank Brandon Graham for making the play that forced the Falcons into position to go only for a field goal. That finally stopped their drive, but the Falcons nevertheless get a 50-yard field goal by Matt Bryant to take a 3-0 lead after 5.5 minutes, and the Eagles still waiting to touch the football for the first time. Corey Clement is the deep man. As Bryant approaches the football, he kicks it high and not deep. Clement comes up and takes it at the 4, out to the 5, the 10, 15, 20, 25, and up to the 28 before he is cartwheeled on the play by DeMonte Casey. I said to the Falcons, how do you pronounce it? They said it's crazy without the R. 1st and 10 Eagles now moving left to right in all white tonight.
Nice to see Corey Clement getting some action on that return. Nice return. Hitting it full speed. Not wasting any time, any wasted motion.
Miles Sanders opens in the backfield. 3 receivers. Slot to the near side of the field. Shotgun for Wentz. On first down, he's going to throw. He looks, he fires, he completes it up across the 35-yard line to Zach Ertz. Pickup on the play of about 8.
Yeah, just looking at how the field opens up. You know, usually when you see the Falcons line up, They're bunched around the line of scrimmage. There's 7, 8 guys near the line of scrimmage, but with Deshaun Jackson on the field already, you see how this defense just opens up. There are going to be a lot of pockets in this defense to take advantage of.
Sanders stays in. Slot to the near side. Deshaun in the near side slot. On second down is a running play to Sanders, who tries to bounce it outside but cannot. He cannot, as Isaiah Oliver stayed with him, tracked him down, and threw him for a 1-yard loss. That will put the Eagles in a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Sanders trying to bait Isaiah Oliver to the inside, but he doesn't take the bait. He stays on the outside shoulder and is able to take him down.
It is 3rd and 3 for the Eagles from their own 32, moving left to right. 8:11 to go in the first quarter. 3-0 Falcons.
And this is when the fans are trying to make it difficult.
In comes Jordan Howard. Wentz under center. Wentz fakes, looks, now starts to roll. He is floating it to the near side of the field. There's nobody even near the football, and it falls incomplete. Now let's see. Penalty flag?
Oh, yeah. On the other side of the field, there is a flag down. And Zach Eartz is convinced that it's against the Falcons.
Defensive holding.
So they do a nice job of picking up the pressure, but Carson Wentz, looking around, could not find an available target.
1st and 10 up at the 42-yard line. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside comes in for the first time. Slot to the near side of the field. Miles Sanders back in the game. Motion, Eartz, right to left. Wentz in the gun, and now a penalty flag, and it's going to be procedure against the Eagles.
With motion, the Falcons are having some problems even lining up properly. If that play had snapped, they were still trying to communicate their assignments.
And so the Eagles now have 1st down and 15 at their own 37. Wentz lines up. Sanders to his right. Slot to the near side. Eartz starts in motion. Wentz slips it off to Sanders. Sanders off the left side takes it as far as the 40. Pick up on the play of about 4. Jack Crawford makes the stop, so that will put the Eagles in a 2nd down and 11.
Fast defense where they get to the football. Now, they're not the biggest defense, but they are quick to the ball. They rally to the ball. You're going to see a lot of red jerseys around the football on each and every tackle.
3-0 Atlanta midway through the first quarter. Eagles have a 2nd down and 11 at their own 41. Sanders stays in to the left of Wentz. Eartz goes in motion. Slot to the near side of the field. Wentz stamps his right foot. Wentz is back, and he gives off, having trouble carrying the football, but finally getting his hands around it is Sanders. There was a mix-up on the exchange. He tickled it, juggled it, but caught it close to his chest and managed to pick up 4 yards before Grady Jarrett made the stop.
Yeah, there was a lot of motion, and I thought it was prior to the snap, but they still allowed the play to play out. But the Falcons are able to stop them and put them in a 3rd and long situation.
It's 3rd and 7. 3 receivers left. In the game is Darren Sproles to the right of Wentz, who repositions Sproles. Eagles have to get to the Falcons 47 for a 1st down. Back goes Wentz. He's looking. Here comes the rush. He fires, and it is incomplete. Incomplete as he wanted Nelson Aghalor. The ball a little high. He had his hands on it, but it's incomplete.
And he has Nelson Aghalor, and you've got to catch that ball because you want to keep the player drive. You want to be good on 3rd down. It's a pretty solid pocket for Carson Wentz, and this is a ball that should have been caught. Nelson Aghalor runs away from the defender, but unable to hold on to the football.
And the punt, Cam Johnston. The deep man, Kenyon Barner. Low snap, but Cameron Johnston gets it away. It's end over end. Fair catch signaled for. They let it go, and it bounces down to the 1. And did the Eagles stop it at the 1? Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
An outstanding job by the rookie, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, getting down on special teams,
Mac
Hollins and making a huge play.
There's a timeout on the field with the score. The Falcons 3, the Eagles nothing on the Eagles Radio Network. Ito Smith, the single setback. As Matt Ryan sets up in the end zone, ball at the 1. The Eagles jump, but I think the Falcons moved first and drew the Eagles off sides. It was Fletcher Cox moving, but I think he was drawn off on the right side of the Falcons' offensive line.
They can't back him up too far.
Half the distance to the goal. That could be the safety. Well, if the Eagles were to come up with the safety, it would be the safety of the game, brought to you by PGW, delivering safe, reliable energy to Philadelphia for more than 180 years. PGW Energy for all of us. Visit pgwworks.com.
Half the distance to the goal is about the length of a football.
It's 1st and 10 and a quarter. Under center is Ryan. Julio Jones starts in motion. This time play action. Ryan backs up, floats it to the near side of the field to Smith, who is brought down at about the 5-yard line. Rodney McLeod makes his 3rd tackle of the game, and the Falcons have a 2nd down at about 6.
Yeah, Rodney McLeod's so valuable to this defense, and he's like a coach back there. You know, he plays that center field spot very well, and then they'll bring him up along the line of scrimmage from time to time, but his place is in the post because he directs traffic back there.
5:42 remaining in the opening quarter, 3-0 Atlanta. Ito Smith stays in the backfield. Backing up is Ryan. He fires, and it's incomplete, intended for Julio Jones. Well covered on the play by, very well covered, by Rasul Douglas. He was right there. Fans wanted a pass interference, but they got no reaction from the officials.
Well, then Julio Jones thinks the same. But tight coverage by Rasul Douglas, and you've got to know what the officials are going to call, and it's just he's barely touching him.
Eagles would love to stop them right here, and then get good field position on a punt. Smith stays in as Matt Ryan walks over.
So the challenge flag is out. I think Dan Quinn is going to challenge whether or not there was an interference or a pass interference with Julio Jones and Rasul Douglas on that previous play.
It's a AAA official review. AAA Roadside is their strong side. Make AAA part of your game plan at AAA.com. Now, it's got to be significant. It can't be borderline, and we're watching it again. There's a timeout on the field with the score 3-0 Atlanta. The ruling on the field stands, so it was not deemed pass interference. Though we watched the replay, and there's no doubt that Rasul Douglas got to him early and had him hooked by his right hand. But to change it, it's got to be really significant for the Falcons. It is 3rd down and 5 at the 6. Ryan goes back again. He looks right. He puts it in the air, and he completes it for a 1st down on the far side of the field to Ridley. Up at the 23-yard line, a pickup of 17, and the Eagles let them work out of it. This drive began inside the 1-yard line, and here are the Falcons across the 20. Not good.
And Ronald Darby just giving up way, way too much space on the outside.
Devontae Freeman back in the game. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. 1st and 10 Atlanta. At their own 23, they lead 3-0. Ryan to throw again. Puts it in the air, and it's deflected and incomplete. That time, Darby was right there all over Russell Gage, and the Falcons will have a 2nd down at 10. Football at their own 23. Moving right to left and leading 3-0. Just over 5 to play here in the opening quarter. Freeman stays in. He's about 5'8", 210 pounds. He takes the handoff, and he is met in the backfield, and he will lose 5 yards as he meets Derek Barnett.
Boy, that is a great job by Derek Barnett, and that could be the Herd's crunch of the game. So for your pregame, your in-game, post-game cravings, keep it Philly with Herd snacks.
It is 3rd down and 14 for Atlanta. Football back at the 18. Freeman stays in. Slot to either side. In the gun, Matt Ryan. Ryan takes the snap. He backpedals. He steps up. He tries to dump it over the middle. He does, but Freeman is trapped and brought down at about the 23-yard line by Malcolm Jenkins, and the Falcons will have to punt.
Yeah, that is a great job. They set up that picket fence back there, and Matt Ryan can't throw the ball down the field. He has to dump it down, and Malcolm Jenkins comes up, does a great job of closing on the throw and getting Freeman to the ground.
That defensive stop brought to you by St. Christopher's Hospital for Children, committed to delivering high-quality family and patient-centered care since 1875. And the punt, the veteran, 9-year veteran out of Miami, Matt Bosher. In the return, Darren Sproles. And they're going to throw a flag and call procedure against the Falcons.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 83.
It's on Russell Gage.
Still 4th down.
That Barnett stop was huge.
Yeah.
Please reset the game.
But we've had two.
You talk about Derek Barnett, and everyone thinks pass rush right away when you talk Barnett, but he is becoming a complete football player. Outstanding job versus the run.
First-round draft choice a couple of years ago out of Tennessee, where he broke Reggie White's sack records. Here is the punt by Bosher again. It's end over end. Sproles comes up, calls for, and makes a fair catch at his own 44-yard line. So the Eagles take over with very good field position. Timeout on the field with the score 3-0 Atlanta on the Eagles Radio Network. The Eagles do not want to go through another one of those dreary scoreless first quarters, but that's where they're at so far with 3:41 to go. 3-0 Atlanta, but the Eagles have excellent field position. Following the short 39-yard punt by Matt Bosher, they have a first down at their own 43-yard line, moving left to right.
Yeah, a little note, Matt Bosher kind of limped off to the sideline, grabbing the growing area, and I don't know if it's a heat pad or just a towel, but he has something in that area protecting or warming that area.
1st and 10, slot to the far side. Sanders stays in. Wentz fakes, looks, fires, completes the pass, and being pushed out of bounds at midfield is Zach Eartz. 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, nice little play action, and Zach Eartz, if you're going to get Zach Eartz out in space on Keanu Neal, he's going to win.
Now they bring in the sledgehammer, played by Jordan Howard. It is 2nd and short, just in the Falcons side of the field.
Perfect time to go downfield.
Wentz under center. 3 receivers stacked. Deshaun Jackson in motion. Handoff to Jordan Howard, who plows forward and should have the first down. We'll see where they spot it, but I think he's very, very close. Brought down by Grady Jarrett.
He is right on the mark, and they are moving the chains.
So the Eagles pick up a first down.
I think that's an area where they have to rely even a little bit more. Jordan Howard running the ball last week, he was excellent. He averaged 7 yards a carry last week. They got to get him more involved in carrying the football.
He stays in. Wentz goes to the gun. Wing to the near side. Slot to the far side. Wentz in the gun. On a delay, gives back to Jordan Howard, and he powers his way, but only as far as the 45-yard line. At most 2 yards, Allen Bailey makes the stop for Atlanta. 2:17 to go in the first quarter. It remains 3-0 Falcons. Miles Sanders re-enters the game. Rookie from Penn State, 2nd-round draft pick. Eagles break the huddle. They line up at the Falcons 45. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Wentz starts out under center, now backs up into the gun with Sanders to his left. Have to get to the Falcons 37 for a first down. Back goes Wentz. He fires, and it's incomplete. He tried to gun the football to Eartz, but it was knocked away.
Yeah, it's a little behind Zach Ertz, and Keanu Neal in coverage again. You know, if this ball is out in front of Zach Ertz, it's an easy catch for Zach Ertz, and he's running down the field. He runs a nice route, gives a little arm over to Neal, and the ball just was a little behind.
It is 3rd and 8. Sproles in the game. Now we're going to hold things up.
Charge timeout. Atlanta, their second.
Atlanta takes its second timeout. The first came when they lost on a challenge.
And it's worth noting that Deshaun Jackson is not on the field now, hasn't been on the field for several plays, and now starting to spend time with the doctors on the sideline. So, Howard, see what you can find out.
Junior cheer is back on Sunday, September 29th. Come for a fun-filled day, including instruction from Eagles cheerleaders, a performance on the field, and more. 2 sessions are available. Get your tickets today at PhiladelphiaEagles.com/JRCheer. Eagles have not been prolific offensively. They've had a couple of plays, but nothing spectacular or even close. Now Mac Hollins is in the game, split out to the far side of the field. They go shotgun, double wing. Sproles to the left of Wentz. 3rd and 8. Into a long count goes Wentz. Now calls for the football. He's back. Here comes the rush, and he gets away, and he's going deep, and it's intercepted by the Falcons. But as the Falcons' true font makes the interception, he is knocked down by Arcega-Whiteside. So it's the same basically as the punt.
Yeah.
But the Falcons have a first down at the 9-yard line.
Not much lost in this situation. Other than you're not getting the first down, of course, but Carson Wentz able to stay up, keep the play alive, heave it down the field, and the interception is just like a long punt.
That's exactly what it is. However, again, the Eagles do not pick up a first down, and I don't know how Wentz got out of the way, because the Falcons had him dead to rights, and he just about slipped away and got the pass away. It was way underthrown. He was just trying to get rid of it. So, no harm, but no gain either. 1st and 10 Falcons at the 9-yard line. Under center is Ryan. Puts his tight end in motion. Graham goes with a quick pitch to Freeman, and Freeman goes no place. He bounces the line of scrimmage and at most picks up 1 yard before he's brought down by Josh Sweat.
Yeah, this play designed to go to the right. There's nothing there, and he tries to cut it back, does Freeman. And when he tries to go back to the backside against the grain, Rasul Douglas comes up. He makes the stop along with Sweat.
So it is 2nd down and about 9 3/4 for the Falcons.
Josh Sweat in on the action in the run game.
Freeman stays in. To the left of Matt Ryan. Sanu in motion. Now he's set up in the slot. Back goes Ryan. He pumps. He's hit as he fires the football short. And that was because the Eagles were on him and had hit his right arm as the ball was released. And it falls in the center of the field, incomplete.
Josh Sweat does an outstanding job here of getting around the edge, getting a hand on Matt Ryan, and as he's trying to deliver the ball downfield. Now you're starting to get some hits on him, starting to speed up the quarterback, and it really affects the passing game.
Devontae Freeman stays in. 3 receivers for Atlanta. It is 3rd down and almost 10. Julio Jones goes in motion. Ball at the 9. Eagles scraping, now moving back. Back goes Ryan. He loads up, and he is floating. It is incomplete. Broken up, intended for Julio Jones, but he was in a crowd, and soaring above was Rodney McLeod to knock it away.
And it begins with the pressure that they're able to get up front. They run a stunt. You see big Fletcher Cox looping around the outside. They're able to stunt, break down the pocket, forcing that throw that's high to Julio Jones. But on the back end, you've got bodies all around, making sure he doesn't get the catch.
Here's the punt by Bosher. It's end over end. Taking it is Sproles. Sproles runs to his right, leaps over a man, cuts back across the 45 and takes it to the 43. Luke Stocker makes the tackle on Darren Sproles, but that's a good job of getting them into Falcons territory. You know, the best is better than ever. Make a night of action, dining, and entertainment at Pennsylvania's #1 casino, Parks Casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1st and 10 Eagles.
They continue to win the field position, but the Eagles are yet to put points on the board. This possession, they need to get points out of it. An outstanding job by the defense, forcing that punt, and now the offense in field position on the Falcon side of the field. They got to figure out a way to score.
Arcega-Whiteside wide left. In the slot is Matt Collins. In the backfield, Miles Sanders. 1st and 10. Wentz gives it off to Sanders. Sanders plows forward, and on second effort comes across the 40 and takes it to the 38, where Tack McKinley makes the stop, but a solid 5-yard pickup on the play.
Well, in good news, I see Deshaun Jackson on the sideline, and he's starting to run around again, and hopefully he's back in the game sooner than later.
It is 2nd down and 5. Aghalor to the near side. Under center is Wentz. Slot to the far side of the field. Sanders standing behind Wentz, who now appears to be audibilizing, and I think he's going to take. We've come to the end of the first quarter, and we are there at the end of the first quarter with no score in the game. With the score, Atlanta 3. The Eagles still haven't scored in the first quarter. The score, Atlanta 3, the Eagles nothing on the Eagles radio network. 3-0 in Atlanta. Eagles again with a scoreless first period, and now you can't just attribute it to rust. Stats brought to you by PNC Bank. For more than 150 years, PNC Bank has been right here at the heart of our community, investing in our students, our businesses, and our people. PNC. Make today the day.
The rookie Miles Sanders has 4 carries for 13 yards. Carson Wentz 2 of 5 passing for just 6 yards, 1 interception.
Jordan Howard in the game. Eagles have a 2nd down and 5 at the Falcons 38. Motion, Aghalor. This time the give to Jordan Howard, and he goes up the middle and plows hard. Picks up about 4 yards, or maybe 5. We'll see where they spot it. It's very close to a first down.
Tell you what, there's a lot of movement and that surge by the offensive line. They just moved the line of scrimmage, and Jordan Howard comes behind them, and he just finds a red shirt to put his hat on to push the power.
He is a sledgehammer. He gives them a little bit of what LeGarrette Blount gave them a couple of years ago. 1st and 10. Jordan Howard stays in. Slot to the near side. Lone receiver to the far side. Eagles driving. 3-0 Atlanta. Early in the second half. Wentz fakes. Carries the football and dives down at the 32-yard line. He faked to Jordan Howard and then just tried to carry it and got a big 1 yard before he dove down safely in front of Ricardo Allen.
Yeah, you don't want to do too much of that unless you're making sure that somebody's getting up to the second level. Ricardo Allen comes from his safety spot, and he's right there to make the stop on Carson when he pulls it and runs rather than handing it off to Jordan Howard.
It is 2nd down and 10. Deshaun Jackson to the near side. Slot to the far side. Now Sproles in the game to the left of Wentz. Wentz back, pumps, fires over the middle, and he completes it inside the 25 to Eartz for a 9-yard pickup. Brought down by Deion Jones. So the Eagles have a 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, you line Deshaun Jackson up on the outside, but you want to work that ball on the inside to Zach Eartz. Very effective offense.
3rd and 1, and Sproles stays in. Slot to the far side. Wing to the near side. That's Hollins on the wing. Wentz goes up, says something, repositions Sproles. Now splitting wide is Hollins. Slot over on the far side of the field. It is 3rd and 1. Wentz takes the snap. He's back. He looks. He fires. He completes it inside the 15. And working his way to the 11 is Nelson Aghalor. Eagles in the Mealy's red zone means a $100 donation to Justice Rescue. Mealy's Furniture, the styles you love for less.
Excellent combination route on the outside. Nice job, Nelson Aghalor, trying to get away from Kazee, but unable to do so.
But picked up the first down, and the Eagles have a 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Falcons. Eagles trail 3-0 early in the second quarter, 12:25 to play in the first half. Sproles stays in to the right of Wentz. Slot to the near side. Lone receiver to the far side. Wentz takes the snap, looks left, goes over the middle, and it's incomplete. Incomplete as he gunned it for Eartz. And that was in some traffic, and they're lucky that was not picked off by Ricardo Allen.
Yeah, and they're a little bit shorthanded. Dallas Goedert, he's got a calf injury that he's dealing with now. And Deshaun Jackson still back and forth right now on the sideline again, consulting with doctors. So a little bit shorthanded with their passing attack, but they've got to make it work. They're in the red zone area.
And they only have 2 tight ends on the 53. It is 2nd down and 10 at the 12. Wentz in the gun. Jordan Howard with him. Handoff goes to Jordan Howard, and he fights his way across the 10, and then is shoved back when he reaches about the 7 or 8. A pickup of 3. Deion Jones grabbed him and threw him back, and that puts the Eagles in a 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 6 from the 8. So they have to get to the 2-yard line, actually inside the 2, for a first down.
Really not much there. Very patient Jordan Howard picking his way through, getting a little bit when there's nothing.
It is a double wing. Now motion. Miles Sanders to the right of Wentz. Wentz drops back. He looks, he pumps, and he is finally hit. He is knocked down. He ran out of time, and Grady Jarrett got to him and put him down.
Yeah, he's a wrecker. He can wreck your offense, Grady Jarrett. Wentz just held this thing a little bit too long. Didn't like to throw downfield. He starts to move in the pocket and then moves right back into Jarrett.
That was more of a coverage sack. He just
That's
looked
exactly what it was.
So they will
listen. They dropped coverage this time. They're not going to rush a lot of people. They only rushed 4. They dropped everyone else back in coverage, and they're able to cover up all of the possible receivers.
So Jake Elliott is in the game, attempting to tie the game. Jake 1 for 1 on the season. This is a short one. It will be spotted by Cameron Johnston at the 25-yard line, so it is a 35-yard attempt for Jake to tie the game at 3 apiece. But once again, Eagles go through a scoreless first period. And you go back to last year when they scored a total of 41 first quarter points. All right, they'll spot this at the 24, so officially it's a 34-yard attempt to tie the game. Ball is spotted, the kick is away, and the kick is perfect, and we're tied at 3. With that field goal, Direct Energy kicks in another $500 to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Wentz got the Eagles into position, and they finally scored, so it is 3-3. Now, getting set to kick off is Jake Elliott, the deep man, Kenyon Barner. 3-3 the score, 10:45 remaining in the first half. Not a shootout so far. It's a kickoff. Here is the kickoff by Elliott. It is high and it is deep, and it will hit in the end zone and go beyond the baseline. Down to Howard.
Down to Howard.
Merrill, a fascinating moment. You may have noticed Kelsey 30 yards behind the field goal kicker, Jake Elliott, at one point. I believe he went to the wrong bench. So the official walked him back over, pointed to the Eagles and the trainer, and they're now checking him in the medical tent for obviously a possible head injury. Back up to you.
Ito Smith, the single setback for the Falcons, who are in an eye-over formation. Motion with Sanu. Under center is Ryan. He backs up. He steps away from the rush. He hits Ito Smith, who gets as far as the 30-yard line, but there's a penalty flag thrown, and I think this is coming back. I think this is going to be holding on the Falcons.
I think you're right.
Holding. Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
On Jamon Brown.
The Eagles defensively, those guys up front, they're starting to become comfortable with the fact that they can beat these guys with their pass rush. And they don't have to bring extra people, maybe a stunt or a twist here and there, a little TE, but they can beat these guys up front with their pass rush.
Zendeo comes in for Maddox. Falcons go with 5 receivers. Spread formation. In the gun is Ryan. It is 1st and 20. Ball on the 15. Backing up is Ryan. Going over the middle, and it is complete across the 30. He guns that one to Julio Jones. Maybe a little short of a first down, but it's a 19-yard pickup. That'll be 2nd down and 1.
With their big nickel on the field, 3 safeties, they're able to fit the ball into Julio right in front of 2 of those safeties for a big first down.
Zendejo on the tackle, but that was a lot of room for Julio Jones. Devontae Freeman in on 2nd down and 1. They set up in an eye-over formation with Ryan under center. Ryan fakes a pitch, comes back with a pass to the far side of the field. They don't get much, but they get enough for a first down as it goes out to Julio Jones, this time for only a yard, brought down by Sidney Jones. Yeah, so Jones tackles Jones.
On first down, they get 9 yards, and on that big play with all that going on, they're able to just get 1 yard out of the play, but it's enough for a first down.
First and 10 Atlanta, 3-3 the score. 9:12 remaining in the first half. Devontae Freeman back in the game. Slot to the near side. They go with a double tight end. This time, handoff to Freeman, and Freeman picks up a pedestrian yard and a half, maybe 2. And they'll spot the football as Nathan Gary is involved in the tackle. And it'll be second down at about, it's about 6.5. Actually, they give him penetration up close to the 40. The Eagles drove close, but had to settle for a field goal. It is second down, 6.5. Freeman behind Ryan, who's under center. Ryan wants to throw. He fires over the middle and incomplete. Wanted Sanu. Might have been deflected at the line of scrimmage by Fletcher Cox.
Yep. Fletcher Cox actually drops into the throwing lane and nearly picks the football off.
Falcons.
This ball should have been caught by Fletcher Cox. I can't wait to hear these guys tease him about that. He drops right into the passing lane, and the football goes right through his hands.
Falcons are 1 for 4 on third down conversions.
That's a good defensive call by Jim Schwartz right there.
3 receivers left, 2 right. Matt Ryan in the shotgun. It is third down and 6. Ryan back, and he is floating it down the near sideline, and it is out of bounds. They say a catch by Julio Jones. Now, I want to see a replay on this. It was inside the 35-yard line. He went way up, but let's take a look and see how he got that foot down, Mike. Here's the replay.
They're going to try quickly to get the...
He got it. He got it, Mike.
He did get it.
He did get it. Miraculously, he did get it. Ryan comes out firing again on the far side. Fires to Sanu or Calvin Ridley this time, but it's only a short gain of a yard. Sidney Jones in on the tackle. That was what makes Julio Jones Julio Jones.
Yeah, he's a special player.
Oh,
with very little space, he understands where the sideline is. He goes up and first of all makes a heck of a catch, and then has the presence to get both feet in bounds. But now, an offensive line that's short-handed already. Now they're going to lose Caleb McGarry, who's being helped off by their trainers, their #1 draft pick out of Washington.
There's a timeout on the field with the score 3-3 on the Eagles radio network. For the Falcons, it is second down and 9 at the Eagles 32. 3-3 the score. Ryan in the gun. 3 receivers. Slot to the near side of the field. Devontae Freeman to his left. Ryan goes back. He pumps. Now he starts to run. He is firing deep on the run, and it is incomplete just beyond Ridley. He tried Ridley down the right sideline and overthrew him by about 1.5 inches.
Yeah, and he keeps this play alive, and he directs Ridley to get down the field, and Ridley gets beyond Ronald Darby. Very fortunate the Eagles are that this ball is overthrown.
They had one of those last week with Case Keenum overthrowing McLaurin.
This was just a scramble drill, though, and Ridley recognizing that Matt Ryan's out of the pocket, needs someone available, and gets down the field.
It is 3rd and 9. Sanu starts in motion again, the shotgun formation. Ryan backs up. Here comes the rush. He is looping it. Wide open is Justin Hardy, but he can't pull it in. He was wide open, and of course Ryan with the rush was throwing off of his back foot, and Justin Hardy couldn't pull it in.
Listen, on back-to-back plays now, receivers have gotten beyond Ronald Darby. It's a little bit scary, and that is why the pressure has to get to Matt Ryan, because on the back end of this defense, they're going to have some problems with the speed of these receivers.
Here is Matt Bryant, who already has a 50-yard field goal. He is attempting another one to give the Falcons a 6-3 lead. Ball is spotted. The kick is away. It's a line drive, and this one is no good. It just swings left down to Howard Eskin.
All right, Merrill, 2 injury problems for Eagle receivers. Alshon Jeffrey has a calf injury. Deshaun Jackson has a groin injury, and they're both questionable to return. If I get a further update on the injuries, I will obviously pass them along. Back up to you.
So the Falcons had a great opportunity to go ahead. First with a 7 spot and then with a 3, and they were turned away. Eagles got some real breaks there, believe me.
And it's really the defense. They're keeping this Eagles offense in the game, but the Eagles offense at some point, they've got to come to the party.
Miles Sanders in the backfield. Wentz lines up. Sanders to the right. Slot to the near side. Lone receiver to the far side. Wentz has got to get hot. He's back. He steps up. He looks. He is going down the far sideline, and it is intercepted. Second pick of the game. I don't know where he was throwing, but bouncing around with the football and finally being tackled is Desmond Tufant down at the 45-yard line. I don't know where Wentz was throwing, but there wasn't an Eagle within 15 yards of that ball.
Well, and Trufant's on the ground, and the ball hits him right in the belly. Wentz slides to his left side, just did not get anything on that football. Desmond Trufant sits down to an interception.
Was an interception during the return. Holding number 26 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Carson Wentz was not picked off at all last week. He's already thrown 2 in this game.
Just not a smart decision right there.
His arm was not hit, but I don't know where he was throwing. Sitting down was Tufant, and the ball hit him in the chest.
Just not a good decision. He didn't have an open target. Sometimes you just got to throw it away.
First and 10 for the Falcons at the 35-yard line. Last week, Wentz was superb. Tonight, he is subpar. First and 10. But, of course, we have a lot of football left. First and 10 for Ryan and the Falcons. The ball at their own 35-yard line, moving left to right. Ryan fires out and completes it on the near sideline, and picking up a first down before being thrown out of bounds is Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, and this is smart by Dirk Carter, their offensive coordinator, play caller. You know, Kevin Ridley, he's got Ronald Darby afraid on the outside now. So what do? You throw it right in front of him. He's going to give you a big cushion. You know you're going to be able to pick away at him with those little 10-yard stops, those little short plays, because he's got to be scared of guys going on top of him at this point.
Empty backfield. First and 10, Atlanta. They are a yard shy of midfield. This time, coming in is Devontae Freeman. Ryan fires over the middle and completes it down to the 40-yard line to Calvin Ridley. A little bit of fake, some good ball handling by Matt Ryan, who faked the handoff and went over the middle for a 12 yards and another first down.
Yeah, it's play action, but he wants to hit him immediately on the slant in that first window, but he's got, I think it's Brandon Graham jumping up in that throwing lane, so he's unable to get it. He waits to the second window and gets the ball to Kevin Ridley.
3-3 the score. First and 10 Atlanta. 6:19 remaining in the first half. Freeman in the game under center. Quick pitch goes to Freeman, and Freeman is picked off and tackled without much harm by Derek Barnett. Freeman only picks up 1 yard. Freeman had been a 1,000-yard rusher in consecutive seasons, and then last year he was injured a great deal.
Now they want to get him in space because that's where they like him, because he can make you miss.
It is second down and 9 for the Falcons. Under center, Ryan. Running back is Ito Smith. Eagles almost jump. Now they're going to throw a flag on the Falcons for illegal procedure because somebody jumped.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
On Jake Matthews. So they will back this one up and put the Falcons in a second down and 14. Eagles have not come up with a turnover in their first 2 games. None last week, and so far, of course, we still have 5:36 left in the first half of this game, but this would be a good time to take the ball away from Atlanta. Ito Smith in the game. It is second down and 14. Slot to the near side. Back goes Ryan. He fires on the run to Smith, and Smith is across the 35 and down at about the 34.
Yeah, pretty nice job of playing that screen. Now, it's set up pretty well by the Falcons, but the Eagles are able to close quickly and not allow much running room after the catch.
Puts Atlanta in a third down and 6. Slot to the far side. Atlanta 2 for 6 on third downs. Smith to the left of Ryan in the gun. Ryan back. Ryan looks. He's pumping. He is going deep, and it is caught by Ridley for a touchdown.
You know, at some point it was going to happen. They've gone to him 3 times down the field where he's gotten beyond this defense. This time the ball is on the money, and Ridley goes in for a touchdown.
That's just a great throw by Matt Ryan, and a great catch by a talented #1 draft pick.
Well, and the Falcons, they've seen it time and time again in this first half. They're able to get beyond this secondary, and that is a problem.
It is becoming a problem. The closest man was Darby, and he couldn't come down with the ball or even knock it loose.
Darby hesitates a little bit too long, and Kevin Ridley with 4.4 speed just blazes right by him.
That was a great hands catch, sponsored by Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. De-stress after the game with massages and facials starting at $59.95. Visit handandstone.com. Ridley all the way. Great throw, great catch. And here is Bryant for the extra point, which is spotted, kicked up, and it is good. And with 4:56 remaining to be played in the first half, the Falcons lead it 10-3. Timeout on the field. That's the score, 10-3 Atlanta on the Eagles Radio Network. Eagles defense has shown a problem. They are being exposed. They were somewhat by the Redskins last week, and tonight by the Falcons on the deep ball. And the offense so far has been, in a word, lifeless. 10-3 Atlanta leads. 4:56 remaining here in the first half. And Bryant kicks off. It is high, not deep. Coming up is Corey Clement, taking it again at the 4. Out to the 10, 15, 20. Pushing his way to the 25. And the Eagles will begin their offense at that point. Get a behind-the-scenes look at life with the Philadelphia Eagles on the Eagles Insider Podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. From football to pop culture, no topic is off limits with Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Subscribe today wherever you listen to podcasts. Well, Mike, they've got to get it going.
And it's about the offense, because the Falcons have had the ball nearly 6 minutes more than the Eagles, and that's a strain on your defense. The offense, they've got to get it going.
Sanders in the backfield. He's got to get it going, too. Has not really shaken free. In the gun is Wentz. He looks right. He fires, and it's incomplete. He's lucky that wasn't picked off. He wanted Hollins, and the pass inaccurate. It was closer to the Falcon defender than it was to Hollins.
That is exactly right. And you see the Falcon defender just jumping around because he knows that, and that was Kazee again. He knows that he was very close to another interception for his team.
They go with the same formation. Aghalor to the near side, slot to the far side. Sanders stays in. Wentz comes up, maybe audibilizing. Says something, now backs up again into the gun. It is 2nd and 10. Eagles trail 10-3. Give goes to Sanders, tries to turn the corner. He does, and picks up about 8 yards, but there were flags flying all over the place. And
everywhere.
I think we can anticipate Eagles holding.
Well, and then there's one downfield that's coming from behind the Falcons.
But they're pointing at the Eagles, I believe. That was a nice run.
3 different flags on the field. So they're going to huddle up.
The offense. Holding, number 65. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So take your pick. And they do, and they're giving it to Jason Peters. And that will put the Eagles in 2nd down. Back at the 15-yard line, 2nd down and 20.
Offense just cannot get anything going.
And we haven't seen much of Deshaun Jackson tonight.
Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, both on the sideline, both questionable for returning in this game.
3 receivers, including Eartz, out to the far side. Althea Whiteside to the near side. In the gun, Wentz. Sproles to his left. Wentz back. Wentz looking, fires, complete, but short yardage only to the 19-yard line as he guns it and finds Eartz, but not much there. And now there's another penalty flag.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be on the Falcons.
Well, they could use one that gives them an automatic first down. We have 4:19 remaining.
Holding. Defense number 20.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
So it is 10-3. Atlanta leads. Kendall Sheffield, the guilty party, with 4:19 remaining here in the first half. Eagles have the ball at the 20.
You could use a couple of those automatic first down penalties. So you've got Arcega-Whiteside on the field, along with Mac Hollins, Nelson Aghalor.
3 receivers right, Eartz left. Shotgun, Sproles to the left of Wentz. Eagles need some kind of exciting play and productive play. They have not been playing well tonight. Wentz in the gun again. He's back. He looks, he fires, he completes it, and pushing forward with everything he has is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, but all he gained were 4 yards. But that's better than going backwards. It is 2nd down and 6. Ball on the 24. The Eagles trail 10-3. Of course, Atlanta hasn't been lighting it up either. But they've connected on several deep passes. Wentz in the gun again. To his right is Jordan Howard. It is 2nd and 6. Wentz with the slot to the far side. Gives it to Howard. And Howard comes across the 25, but gets only to the 26. Picks up 2, and they are lucky they are here and not at the link, where by this time we might be hearing some of those long, hollow sounds.
Yeah, it wouldn't be nice if they're at the link. And the Eagles now just 1 of 4 on 3rd down. They find themselves in another crucial 3rd down situation.
And last week they couldn't miss on 3rd down conversions. Howard stays in. 3 receivers left. Eartz right. Eagles have to get to the 30 for a first down. Wentz in the gun, takes the snap. Back, fires over the middle. He's got a first down to Aghalor. Guns it to Aghalor. That time he was very authoritative. He knows where he wanted to go, and then just zipped it there.
And that's the way you can start to at least pick away slowly at this defense. If they're going to drop in zone, and they are, they're bringing 4 guys because they feel like they want to drop in coverage and keep everything in front of them. Well, just take those little shots for 8 yards and 6 yards and keep moving it down the field.
Eagles are going to let this clock run out. I don't know why, but they will let it run out to the 2-minute warning with the score Atlanta 10, Eagles 3 on the Eagles radio network. Mike, do you realize the Eagles' longest play in this game, their biggest gain, was 12 yards?
Well, here's a stat for you. The Atlanta Falcons have 188 yards of offense. The Eagles, 67.
I'm surprised they have that much. They have been asleep. They trail 10-3, and they're lucky it's just a 1-touchdown game, but they have been poor here in the first half.
And Carson Wentz, 50%, 6 of 12 for only 47 yards passing and 2 interceptions.
Wentz goes into an empty backfield with 3 receivers to the far side. The end man on the left of Sproles. In the gun is in the slot is Arcega-Whiteside. In the gun is Wentz. Wentz takes the snap. He looks. He is flooping it, and he almost is picked off again. It was intended for Arcega-Whiteside and in and out of the hands of Isaiah Oliver.
Yeah, that ball should have been picked by Isaiah Oliver. So they've got, he's going to try and run just a fade route on the outside to Arcega-Whiteside. Whiteside doesn't look back as quickly as Carson's expecting him to look back. Maybe he's trying to throw the back shoulder fade. He doesn't recognize the football, and it's nearly picked off.
It is 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers to the far side, slot to the near side. Wentz in the empty backfield. Looks up, fires, and it's incomplete. Diving for the ball and not able to reach up with it was Arcega-Whiteside.
Listen, this is how confident the Falcons are now. They're rushing 3 guys and dropping everyone back in coverage. They're not expecting Carson Wentz to hit on these throws. They realize that Carson Wentz is off target. They're not so concerned about getting pressure as much as they're concerned about covering up the receivers downfield.
I don't know when I've ever seen him more off target. It is 3rd and 10. Sproles to his left. Shotgun. Have to get to the 42 for a first down. Back goes Wentz. He is going deep down the far side of the field, and it is 5 yards out of bounds in the direction of Mac Hollins, but he would have had to jump up on the Falcons bench to make that catch. It wasn't even one where you put it in there and give him a 50-50 shot.
Nope.
It was way wide. And in the punt is Cameron Johnston. If you had to have an MVP of this game, it might be Cameron Johnston, who has punted the ball well. Kenyon Barner, the return man. 1:46 remaining to be played. Here is the punt. This is a knuckler, and it's going to bounce across the 20 and down to the 15 where Barner picks it up. He is surrounded and upended at the 22-yard line. But there's a penalty flag back upfield, and there is a Falcon shaken up on the play. Well, the Eagles Kids Club is the perfect gift for the young Eagles fan in your life. Members receive an awesome welcome kit, access to exclusive events, and more for just $20. Join now at PhiladelphiaEagles.com/Kids Club.
During the kick.
Get your propane grill tank delivered to your home. Visit cinch.com and get your first tank exchange for only $10. That's CYNCH.com. Enter promo code Reese. Now, here's the thing. There are still 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining in this half, and the Eagles are in possession of all 3 of their timeouts. So if they can stop the Falcons, they should have time to go at it again on offense. Well, I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
And the first thing is stopping the Falcons. And, you know, the way the Eagles like to play defense, they don't roll a safety over the top. They are going to have a post safety in the middle. They rely on their corners to play single coverage on the outside. That could be problematic.
57-yard punt. Ryan lines them up. 1st and 10. He backs up into the end zone. He fires. He completes it up across the 10, up to the 12-yard line as it goes to Austin Hooper again for a 6-yard gain, tackled by Avonte Maddox. It is 2nd down and about 4. Ryan again in the gun. He's got Devontae Freeman to his right. Falcons lead 10-3. Back goes Ryan. He fires, and it is caught for a first down up at the 24-yard line. Calvin Ridley. 12 yards there, and that will move the chains.
Yeah, I'd rather see the 12 yards, but they're going to try and bait them with those little ones and then a little double move.
Back goes Ryan to the near sideline. It is incomplete. He was rushed, intended the pass for Hooper, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that's one where Matt Ryan's just forced to get that football out of his hands. Really good pass rush up front by these Eagles, and he could see those white shirts closing in on him.
49 seconds to play here in the first half. Eagles have struggled on both sides of the ball. They're lucky they're not behind by more than 7 points. In the gun goes Ryan. He backs up. He has too much time. He fires it, and it's intercepted. It's picked off, and they will mark it down, but Sidney Jones took it off the hands. It was deflected, and the Eagles have come up with a big interception right here and a major mistake.
Philadelphia.
On contact, Sidney Jones went down, but the pass was off the hands of Mohamed Sanu.
Very, very fortunate, Sidney Jones. And, you know, when you hustle, when you're around the ball, good things happen, and that's exactly what happens here.
Please set the game clock to 43 seconds. 43 seconds on the game clock, please.
Sendejo is in excellent position, and he forces a wide throw that goes off the hands of Sanu. Sidney Jones on the spot.
That's his first interception as an Eagle, and that's a big one. Eagles have all of their timeouts. Let's see if they can put some points on the board right here. Let's see if they can tie this thing at 10 apiece. Wentz in the gun. He's back. He's looking. He swings it out on the far side. Running with the ball is Sanders, and he picks up 6 yards.
Yeah, that's not Carson,
Well,
though.
McCown is in the game.
Yeah.
They sent McCown out.
Carson's now in the tent.
Wow.
And Josh McCown out running the offense.
Well, that may explain something, as McCown, the veteran McCown, is in there. Whatever he did it well.
Well, he just threw a little simple outcut.
Miles Sanders in the game to the right of McCown. The veteran, the 18-year veteran who wears 18 on his chest and back. He swings it out again on the far side of the field, and picking up a first down is Miles Sanders, 4 more yards.
Yeah, this is really smart football, just getting the ball out quickly. You know that you're going to have Sanders. There's not a lot there, but there's enough to get the ball into his hands. He's got the speed to get it out of bounds and beyond the first down marker.
Maybe that explains something, because Wentz has not been playing like Wentz.
Well, that last throw downfield, he took a shot to the midsection, Carson did.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. McCown back. He's looking, he fires, and it is incomplete. Eartz had fallen down, and it was incomplete. It arrived. He actually had a chance at it, but it was deflected away by Keanu Neal.
Yeah, and Eartz was trying to get a call from the official. He thought at the top of the route he was interfered with by O'Neal, and he may be right.
It is 2nd down and 10. Every time I say Keanu Neal, I have to stop myself from saying Keanu Reeves. Wasn't he in that dumb movie, The Replacement? It is 2nd down and 10. In the gun is McCown. He gives it off, and running with the football to the 25. Hopping down and finally being tackled is Miles Sanders, a 4-yard pickup. The Eagles have all of their timeouts. We have 22 seconds, and now they'll utilize one right here.
Yeah, Sanders is going to have to realize at some point that the speed at this level is, you've got to get the ball north-south. A lot of it bouncing to the outside. These guys are way too fast. You've got to get what you can get going north-south and be happy with it.
The one thing about Josh McCown is that he's seen everything. He's had very limited experience with the Eagles, just that one preseason game, the 3rd preseason game, but he is a veteran, and he is anything but shaky. Out to the near side, Arcega-Whiteside. Slot to the far side of the field, Darren Sproles to the left of McCown. McCown fakes to Sproles, fires, complete. Down at the 12-yard line, they have another first down, and it goes to Eartz.
Outstanding job hanging in that pocket by Josh McCown and finding Zach Eartz crossing the field.
Eagles take their 2nd timeout. Entering the Mealy's Red Zone means a $100 donation to Justice Rescue. Mealy's Furniture, the styles you love for less.
Now, Carson Wentz is out of the tent, and I think he just wants to come out and watch his team moving downfield. But Josh McCown doing a really nice job on the field moving this offense.
He really is. Eartz to the near side, 3 receivers to the far side. Shotgun. Sproles to the left of McCown. McCown back. McCown looks, fires, and it's incomplete. Intended for Eartz. Knocked away at the 10-yard line by Isaiah Oliver. That's all right, because that would have made them take another timeout, forced them to make another timeout, and back in comes Wentz. But I'll tell you what, McCown did a great job. Did a really good job coming in.
That's why he's here. You know, you've got to have a veteran guy that can come in like that on the spot where you don't lose a beat. In fact, I think you're able to pick up a beat on what they were doing with McCown.
Now Wentz back in. Slot to the far side of the field. Sproles to the left of Wentz. It is 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 13. Wentz back. Wentz looking. Wentz fires, and it is incomplete. He had the ball in and out of the hands of Aghalor, who went out and then was separated from the ball by Ricardo Allen.
Yeah, he has a wide open Nelson Aghalor, and Nelson has to pirouette and make a circus catch if he's going to make this catch. It's behind him high. You know, that ball, if it's on him, it's an easy touchdown, but Allen hits him as he's completely stretched out for the football. He's unable to hold on to it, and he seems to be a bit shaken up, Nelson Aghalor.
Well, if he has to leave the game, it would rob the Eagles of their final timeout. Down to Howard.
All right, Merrill, it was an interesting dynamic. When Carson Wentz came off after the last series, he's talking to Mike Groh, he's talking to Josh McCown. Didn't seem to be any problem. Then when the Eagles got the ball back on the turnover, all of a sudden they didn't give Carson back his helmet. Went into the tent. The independent neurologist was in there. They looked at the video of something that may have happened earlier in the game. And as Mike said, he was a little jittery, wanting to get back in the game because he felt he was all right. It was kind of an interesting dynamic of everything that happened down here, but he's back in the game. Back up to you.
Now the board shows the Eagles with a timeout.
Number 72 is an eligible receiver. Number 72
Wentz lines
is
them
eligible.
up. It is 3rd down and 10. Have to get to the 3.5 for a first down, and now Atlanta takes a timeout. That's Atlanta's final timeout.
Yeah, and I think this timeout will benefit the Eagles.
Will be 30 seconds.
I think it will too. I mean, we know that Carson Wentz is a great young quarterback. We know that he has a golden arm. We know what he can do. We saw him last week at his absolute best. I know it was the Redskins, but he was just unstoppable during his stretch, particularly in 3rd downs.
But we have seen him get cold, and we know that he can be cold as well. And he had Nelson Aghalor for a touchdown, and he missed Nelson Aghalor. Now, it's a ball that if Nelson's not separated from the ball by Ricardo Allen, maybe he hangs on to it.
Now, last week we saw him throw into a much smaller window to hit Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown. It is 3rd and 10. Wentz in an empty backfield. Double wing. Wentz takes the snap. He's back. He steps up. He starts to run. He fires, and it is incomplete low as he went for Hollins. But there's a penalty flag thrown, and let's see about this.
Very similar defense to the Jim Schwartz picket fence they set up. And Carson Wentz starts to climb the pocket and thinks that he's got a shot for Holland, but it's one hop to him.
It's 3 seconds left here in the first half, just 3 seconds. Which means the field goal team has got to come on regardless.
There are 2 fouls by the offense. Illegal formation. Number 72, who was eligible, was covered. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 72. Offense, 10-yard penalty.
Well, that just adds 10 yards to the field goal attempt on Halapoulivaati Vaitai, but it's still very much in the chip shot range of Jake Elliott. Although it is hardly an automatic, it's 41 yards, but it's one that Jake should make to give the Eagles 3 more points heading into halftime and put them in a position where they trail 10-6. It'll be spotted at the 31. Here it is. Last play of the first half. Spotted. Kick is away, and the kick is good. And we have reached, with that field goal, we have reached the end of the first half. With that field goal, Direct Energy kicks in another $500 to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Direct Energy supports the community. Business.directenergy.com. There's the end of the first half with the score. The Falcons 10, the Eagles 6.
Well, that's an easy answer. This Eagles offense, they really need to get hot this second half. They only scored 6 points and really has not looked fluent at all this ball game.
Second half adjustments brought to you by Tower Health. Tower Health is proud to support our home team and connect you to your healthiest. Discover more at towerhealth.org.
Carson Wentz only 6 for 16 in the first half, 47 yards passing. 2 interceptions. That's bad. This offense has to get hot.
I don't know if he is playing hurt, if he was hurt earlier in the game, but he is not playing like Carson Wentz. Here is the kickoff by Bryant. It is a wobbler, and it is taken by Corey Clement at the 5, out to the 10, runs wide to the 15, tries to get to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. He fumbles the football, and the Falcons have it.
Yes, they do.
Oh, my goodness.
There was a return earlier where the ball was bobbled by Corey, and this time the football comes out, and Corey comes off of the field with his right shoulder, just kind of dragging that right shoulder as if there's a health issue with him going on now.
That kickoff brought to you by Ford. Ford F-150 is the only pickup built with a high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy cabin bed. Check it out at your local Ford store today. And like that, the Falcons have a 1st and 10 at the Eagle 33. And will they go deep, which they have done with success? Backs in the eye. Play action. Ryan with a shovel pass to Freeman. He's across the 25, 20, 15, 10, and finally down at the 4, where Rasul Douglas saves a touchdown.
Well, that's going deep. That's one way to do it. They just throw a little pass in the middle of the defense or in the middle of that offense. It's really a middle screen.
Ryan, quarterback rating 81.2. Wentz 6.2. 1st and goal at the 5. Ito Smith behind Ryan. Ito Smith takes the handoff, and he is shut down at the 4.
Well, you get those 2 wide ends. You get the tackles, and they kind of part the sea with them. They throw a little screen in the middle, and they are quickly down in scoring territory.
Atlanta leads 10-6. Can the Eagles keep them out of the end zone and force a field goal? Out comes Nate Gary. In comes another DB, Avonte Maddox. This time they spread the receivers. Again, Ito Smith stays to the right of Ryan. Ryan stands at the 9, takes the snap, and fakes, and rolls, and throws it, and completes it to Julio Jones for a touchdown. Ryan extended that play, and if you extend it, Julio Jones will find a way to open up, and he does.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there for Ronald Darby, because you're exactly right. Matt Ryan rolls out to his right. He extends the play, and you've got one-on-one with Julio Jones working on Darby, and all he's got to do is uncover. He uncovers. Matt Ryan throws a high ball, and they've got a touchdown.
He kind of pushes off, Julio Jones does, but there's no call. Now here is the extra point. It's spotted, it's kicked, it's up, and it's good. And we have a similar situation to what we had last week at the Link, where the Redskins were leading 17-0. Now the Falcons are leading 17-6 with 13:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Down to Howard.
All right, Merrill, there's so much going on down here. After the score of the touchdown, Doug Peterson was livid with the officials. Jim Schwartz came over. Something the Falcons did, I'm not sure what it was, got them angry. All right, injuries. Aghalor being examined for a head injury. Corey Clement's in the tent. And Alshon Jeffrey came out of the locker room at halftime with no helmet. Another situation, there's speakers on both ends of the Eagles bench. The Eagles have reported to the league that there's music and noise coming out of the speakers. Now, obviously, that's not the reason they're losing, but that shouldn't happen. And there's something going on as far as the Eagles are concerned. Like I said, a whole lot going on, but it's not the Eagles scoring a touchdown.
Miles Sanders is in to return the kickoff as Clement is injured. Here is the kickoff by Bryant, who line drives it. It bounces once, and it's picked up by Sanders at the goal line. 5, 10, 15, 20, spins away to the 25, spins away to the 29. Very nice job by Miles Sanders. Very nice job getting it up to the 29.
And at the end of the play, you can see what the Falcons are doing. They tackle the football. They try and rip the football out, which is what they're able to do on the previous return with Corey Clement.
The only thing I could think about if Howard was referring to this last touchdown was it appeared that Julio Jones kind of pushed off, but nothing was called. 1st and 10 Eagles at the 29. And let's see if Carson Wentz can shake off whatever kept him off balance in the first half. Single setback on 1st down. It is a handoff, and it goes inside to Jordan Howard for only a yard. Howard, who was hitting the hole against the Redskins and moving the pile, had maybe a yard there. That's it. It is 2nd down and 9. Eagles trailing 17-6. They've got a long way to go. And believe me, this is not the Redskins defense. 3 receivers to the far side. Howard stays in as Wentz is operating out of the shotgun. Eagles have to get up to the 39 for a 1st down. Wentz takes the snap. He pumps. He fires. He completes it up to the 37-yard line. Nice throw to Mac Hollins. Released quickly, right on target.
See, that's how you get him into a good rhythm. And if he gets into a good rhythm, and if he starts to feel hot, and I think it just starts, you get one good one, and then you're able to get another one. And it's like a good shooter. He starts to get into a rhythm. That's exactly what you want him to do.
It's 3rd down and 1.
They're only 3 for 7 on 3rd down.
Does he sneak for it? Might be a little long for a sneak. It's not inches, not a half yard. Wentz under center. Motion Aghalor. Wentz gives it off, and Sanders has the 1st down with 4 yards to spare as he crosses the 40 and takes it to the 44 for a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, but not trying to dance too much, just bouncing and then getting north-south is what Miles Sanders does, and that's the way he's got to learn to play.
Wentz lines them up, 3 receivers all to the near side, the left of Wentz. Sanders stays in. Sanders gets the handoff. Penalty flag as Sanders comes across the 45 up to the 47, and I believe we're going to get an Eagles penalty, a hold, which there is nothing that just kills a drive like a holding penalty. Trying to get something going for the first time, and a holding penalty is going to put them 10 yards backwards.
73. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
It's on Isaac Siamalo, and that just kills you. It just kills you. They move it back to the 33-yard line. It's okay if you're up by 10 points. Not when you're down by 14, or down by, in this case, down by 11. Wentz lines them up again. Sanders stays in the backfield. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Back goes Wentz. He looks. He tries to dump it off someplace. He hits the back of Lane Johnson, and it's just an incompletion. He had tacked McKinley in his face. He initially had time.
Yeah, he's trying to get a screen set up, but they blow this thing up. The Falcons do so quickly. They run a stunt on the inside, and they're just pinballing off of the Eagles' offensive linemen.
You can see, now it's always more than one man, but you can see the difference in this team without Deshaun Jackson.
Well, McKinley just attacks this offensive line. He makes this play.
2nd and 20. Wentz with Sanders to his right. Wentz drops, fires, complete. Aghalor breaks away from one man, takes it to the 40, but he's still going to be way short of a 1st down as Deion Jones makes the stop. That will put the Eagles in a 3rd down. Let's see, 3rd down and 11. So it's a little bit more manageable. But you won 3rd and 2. Or 3rd and 3, not 3rd and 11.
Yeah, that's a little bit better, though, getting the ball to Nelson. But what all of these guys have to be careful of, and coaches have to make sure that they stress this point, the Falcons are trying to rip the football out on almost every tackle.
And the gun is Wentz. Motion. Arcega-Whiteside. Back goes Wentz. He looks. He ducks under the rush. He is looking. He is floating it for Miles Sanders. Incomplete. And Wentz is screaming over at the official about something to no avail.
Yeah, he wanted to get an interference call down the sideline. He does a nice job of escaping the pressure, getting out of the pocket, extending the play, but he really doesn't have anywhere to go with the football.
And looking at it again, it really wasn't.
Deion Jones is just in stride for stride in perfect coverage, and he has nowhere to go with the ball.
In the punt, Cameron Johnston. This one is another good end-over-end punt. Coming up as Barner takes it at the 10, stumbles, regains his balance, runs to the 15 and then up to the 18, and a flag is thrown, and that will mean holding against or illegal contact or something against the Falcons, and it'll be half the distance. But here's the thing, and I'm not making excuses because we're as upset with the way the Eagles are performing tonight as you are, but they are without Deshaun Jackson, and they are without Alshon Jeffrey. Those are two of your biggest weapons.
Return. Holding. Number 14 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And there's a timeout on the field with the score. Atlanta up 17-6 on the Eagles Radio Network. First and 10 Atlanta. The football at the 9-yard line down to Howard.
All right, Merrill, two of the Eagles in the locker room with injuries. Corey Clement with a shoulder, and Tim Jernigan is now in the locker room with a foot injury, both questionable to come back. Back up to you.
Another foot injury.
First and 10. Under center is Ryan. Devontae Freeman, the tailback, in the eye under formation. On first down, it slipped off to Freeman. Tries to turn the corner, and he does for a bit, but there's a penalty flag, and I think you're going to get holding against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, last week, the Falcons were just awful in Minneapolis. The Vikings beat them handily.
Holding.
Tonight,
Offense, number 74. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Well, what happened to the Falcons last week is kind of what's happened to the Eagles tonight. They turned the ball over so many times early in the game. The Eagles already have 3 turnovers in this football game. That's why the Falcons went down so far to such a big deficit in that game against Minnesota, and they were never able to dig their way out of it.
It's first and 14 for Atlanta. Inside the 5-yard line. Ito Smith in the game. Back goes Ryan, as all day. He's flushed from the pocket. He starts to run, and he runs out of bounds up across the 10, up at about the 9-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. At about the 9. I'll tell you, for a big, lanky guy, Matt Ryan is still a very good athlete, and he can move.
Well, they leave everybody in to protect Matt Ryan. It's a 2-man route. But on the back end, the Eagles do a nice job, so he has nowhere to go with the football. Fortunately, he escapes to the right side and is able to get up the field.
So with that, it is second down and 10 Atlanta, inside the 10. It would be great for the Eagles do have 1 turnover, an interception by Sidney Jones. Under center is Ryan. Ryan gives it off inside, and there's not much there as the handoff goes to Ito Smith, who runs right into Vinny Curry.
Lots of pads popping down there. We're a long ways from the action, but you can hear the pads popping in. Vinny Curry, excellent job getting involved in the run.
8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Eagles have to get going. Keep saying that every series, and they fall flat. Ito Smith in the backfield. Third down and 9 for Atlanta. Motion, Austin Hooper, the tight end. Ryan in the gun. He's back. He pumps. He is going deep again, and it's intercepted. It is Darby. Darby at the 35. At the 30. Darby carrying the football and finally takes it down to the 24-yard line. Second interception of the game for the Eagles. That could be the play of the game, brought to you by your Delaware Valley Acura dealers. To experience precision-crafted performance for yourself, stop by your local Delaware Valley Acura dealer for a test drive or visit DelawareValleyAcuraDealers.com. How about that, Mike Witt?
Yeah, that's an excellent job. First of all, it's the pressure. Rodney McLeod comes up the middle, and he forces this throw, and it's an errant throw. It's kind of just hanging up, and it's perfect for Ronald Darby to run under it, get the interception, and give this team an outstanding opportunity to get points.
Well, the last time they picked off one, all they got was 3. Let's see if they can put a 7 on the board. Wentz with Sanders next to him. Give goes to Sanders, and Sanders comes running up the middle, picking up about 4 yards. Came across the 25 to about the 23. Plenty of time left in this game. 7:52 remaining in the third quarter. Eagles trail 17-6. It'll bring up a second down and about 6.5.
You know, coming into this game, it wasn't the plan to throw the ball deep downfield a lot, and the Eagles are pretty much sticking to their game plan.
Slot, Aghalor, wide right Hollins, wide left, Arcega-Whiteside. And the gun, Wentz, fakes, looks, fires, complete, first down at the 10-yard line, and backing forward is Zach Eartz. There's a 15-yard strike, and Wentz looking like Wentz. They're in the Mealy's red zone. $100 donation to Justice Rescue. Mealy's Furniture, the styles you love for less.
You know, that has been his go-to guy, and this is the perfect situation where you want to use your go-to guy. You know, you're down Alshon Jeffrey, you're down Deshaun Jackson. Dallas Goedert, the other duo of that tight end, he's down. You've got to get the ball to Zach Ertz.
First and goal at the 8. Slot to the near side. Arcega-Whiteside to the far side. In the gun. Give goes to Sanders. Tries to sweep, and he's hit at the 10. He'll lose a yard. He'll lose a yard or 2 yards. Deion Jones got over there.
The speed of that defense. Deion Jones, fourth-year play out of LSU, outstanding to the football.
But there was no pinching block because Sanders has a lot of speed too, and they were over there with plenty of time.
The big guys up front for this Falcons, they try to keep the blocks off of those linebackers and allow Deion Jones to just run through the football and make plays.
Second and goal from the 10. Slot to the near side. Aghalor in motion. Wentz fakes to Aghalor. Back, and he is hit, and it passes incomplete. They say his arm was going forward. Tack McKinley hit him in the backfield, but his arm was going forward, and it's just a big incompletion.
Yeah, Tack McKinley once again. He's been a wrecking ball on this offense. And he's hit Carson Wentz several times on the night.
That is not Wentz's fault. Not at all. It is third and goal from the 10. Sanders to the right of Wentz. Eartz flanked out to the far side. 3 receivers to the near side. Can they put it in the end zone right here? Wentz takes the snap. He's back. He steps up. He's hit. He runs free. He fires over the middle, but only to the 5-yard line to Mac Hollins. And that's where this will end. And I believe they'll bring the field goal unit on. Won't they? It is 4th and 4. Boy, the way they have been moving the football, Mike.
Doug Peterson is looking at his play chart, and
I know
this is certainly crunch time for this team, Mr. Reese. So for your pregame, in-game, or your postgame craving, keep it Philly with Hers Snacks, because this is crunch time.
Well, I love Doug, but let it be said, I'd go for the 3 right here, and just with this much time left and the way they've been moving the football. Wentz back. Wentz looks, has time, fires, complete, touchdown, Doug's right. Nelson Aghalor in the back of the end zone. Doug is absolutely right.
You're funny. You're so funny. This is an excellent job of being patient, and Carson holds on to the ball. He's allowing Nelson Aghalor to work the back of the end zone. Nelson runs away from the coverage, and he sticks it right in there, but it begins up front. You have to always look at the guys up front when he has that much time. So they're only rushing 3, the Falcons are. The Eagles offensive line, they're able to keep them off, and Carson has all the time that he needs to watch Nelson Aghalor uncover in the back of the end zone.
Say it. You'll always say it. That's why I'm up here and Doug's down there. They're going for 2. They're going for 2. Sanders to the right of Wentz. Can they tie it right here? Wentz in the gun. Wentz claps his hands, and he is carrying it himself. He dives, and is he in? Yes, for 2 points. Wentz carried it himself. He faked the Sanders run option and took it into the end zone. And we're tied at 17. That was the Comcast Business Beyond Fast Play. Learn how to take your business beyond fast at ComcastBusiness.com. Well,
I think this one is going to be challenged because when
ruling on the field of a successful try is under review.
And it is under review, and there's a chance that this one is not going to be converted.
Well, we're not tied. It's 17-14. Let's see. There's a timeout on the field with the score. At the moment, it is showing the Falcons 17, the Eagles 14. Upon further review, they said that Wentz's knee touched the ground before the ball had crossed the plane. So it is, just to straighten it out, it is 17-12. My math a little bit off for a change. The kickoff is long and in and out of the end zone, so the Eagles trail by 5, 17-12. The Eagles touchdown, proudly driven by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. The Honda Summer Spectacular sales event is on. Find the dealer near you at DelValHondaDealers.com. Nevertheless, a great drive by the Eagles after the interception by Ronald Darby and the touchdown pass to Nelson Aghalor in the back of the end zone. And Wentz gave it a pretty good shot at diving in for the two-point conversion, which would have made it 17-14. Instead, they trail 17-12 with just under 5 to go in the third quarter. Ryan under center. On first down, he fakes, and he screens over the middle, and it is complete and then fumbled. And let's see, do the Falcons have it back? I think they do. It was complete initially to Luke Stocker, the tight end. The ball came loose.
Yeah,
he was
Sanu
hit.
Came up
yes, Sanu. The hit by Jenkins. They got a break there. Boy, that would have been a big turnover again for the Eagles.
And he didn't even see Jenkins coming in for the hit, so when he was hit, the football just came out. And there was a scramble for the ball between Nigel Bradham and Sanu comes up with it.
Ryan under center. On first down, it is a handoff inside and not getting far, getting to the 35-yard line is Devontae Freeman. Pick up about 2. Remember they used to run Freeman with Tevin Coleman. That was a pretty good tandem. Coleman went the way of free agency. Eagles fans wanted him for a while, but then they went with Jordan Howard.
A lot more called blitzes and Jim Schwartz sending extra people.
On first down, Ryan backs up again, fires out to the far side to Ridley, and Ridley has another first down up at midfield. Sidney Jones makes the tackle, but that's a 14-yard gain, and the Eagles cannot afford to give up yards in chunks the way they are. They've had a couple of interceptions tonight that have led to some points.
So much space given up on the outside by Sidney Jones.
Devontae Freeman in the backfield. 1st and 10. The ball near midfield. Ryan under center. On first down, he fakes. He backs up. He screens again to the tight end Hooper, and Hooper is brought down in Eagles territory at the 47-yard line. Brought down by Sidney Jones after a 3-yard gain. They can live with that. Falcons moving left to right with just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, but the Eagles are certainly back in this game. They trailed 17-6. It's now 17-12. But we saw some sparks on that last drive engineered by Carson Wentz. In the gun again. Ryan backpedals, fires out in the flat to Sanu, who breaks a tackle, dives forward, and has a first down, I believe. And that was a poor defensive play. Knocked out of bounds on the near sideline, but they had him dead to rights, Mike, and there was just a missed tackle right there.
Yeah, but he does a little bit of everything. You know, Fletcher Cox actually has to come from his defensive tackle position to make the stop on the outside, because when Sanu catches the football, he dances around a little bit, and the cornerbacks, they're just staying off of him, afraid to attack. The stop's made by Cox.
Play action again. Back goes Ryan. He has time. He is throwing deep for the end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended for Calvin Ridley. Ryan put it up there, but Ridley could not climb above Rodney McLeod. Rodney McLeod's made some good plays tonight, and also Darby was back there that time.
Well, he's everywhere. McLeod is on the back end here, making the play on the back end, but he's also been one of the guys getting pressure on Matt Ryan.
It is 2nd down and 10. Eagles trail 17-12 with a minute and 46 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ito Smith to the right of Ryan. It is 2nd down and 10. Ryan slips it off to Smith, cuts back, runs to the 30, cuts back to the 25, 20, 15, down the near sideline and out of bounds at the 12, and he made the Eagles defenders look like they were on ice. He just ran away with it. He put on the brakes, he moved to his left, he moved to the right, and they never had footing.
But this is a really good play call because they're able to create a really big space in the middle of the defense, and when they get Ito Smith out into space, it's hard to get a glove on him. It's hard to tackle him because he's so elusive out in space.
He really put the move on Nigel Bradham. 1st and 10 at the 12. Freeman stays in. Motion. Graham, the tight end. Give goes to Freeman, who powers his way across the 10 down to about the 8. Brandon Graham makes the stop down to Howard.
All right, Merrill, in the medical tent, these artificial surfaces are brutal. In the medical tent now is Sidney Jones. I'll give you a further update when I get it. Back up to you.
It is 2nd down for the Falcons. 2nd and 6 at the 8. They lead 17-12.
Sidney Jones in the tent. Ronald Darby on the sideline down on a knee. Lots of bodies.
2nd and 8. Julio Jones in motion to the far side of the field.
They're going to Julio.
Split way out. And the gun is Ryan. Looks right. Fires for the end zone. Intercepted by Nathan Gary, who takes it out to the 1. Intercepted by Nathan Gary, and now a penalty flag comes down. That was the 3rd interception by the Eagles in this game. They just took points away from Atlanta.
Why don't Nathan Gary just take a knee when he intercepts the football here? He tries to actually run out of the end zone. He takes a knee, he gets the ball on the 20. He's not a return guy.
No, that's not his forte. It's Eagles football. Now let's see what the
field was an interception by Philadelphia. It is a touchback.
It is a
After the play,
touchback.
There was a personal foul, number 96 of the intercepting team. We will go half the distance to the goal.
So the Eagles will have it at the 10.
It will be 1st and 10, Philadelphia.
There's a timeout on the field with the score. Atlanta 17, the Eagles 12 on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Make today the day on 94 WIP. The ball is at the 10-yard line. We have only 12 seconds left in the third quarter, but the Eagles are definitely alive, showing signs of life. And Darby, Jones, and Gary have all had interceptions tonight. That's 5 interceptions for Matt Ryan in 2 games.
The Falcons are doing everything they can to keep the Eagles in this football game. They may as well just take advantage of this possession.
They're 90 yards away from taking the lead.
Number 72 is an eligible receiver. Number 72 is eligible.
So they're going to go with an unbalanced line, an extra tackle in the game, and Vaitai.
Howard to the right of Wentz. 3 receivers. Wentz wants to throw. He does. And he completes it up across the 15 as he guns it to, you know who, Zach Ertz. He's always been his gun-to guy, and that will be the last play of the third quarter with the score. The Atlanta Falcons 17, the Eagles 12 on the Eagles Radio Network. There are 15 minutes left in the game. Call Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15%. Stats brought to you by PNC Bank. From Market Street to Broad Street to your street, PNC is ready to help you give it all you have today so you can reach your goal tomorrow.
Carson Wentz 12 of 25, 96 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Zach Ertz now has 6 receptions, 60 yards, and look for more from Zach Ertz.
For the Eagles, it is 2nd and 4 on the 16. They trail 17-12. Handoff goes inside, and it is Jordan Howard. Not for much. Not for much at all. Sanders, 8 carries, 23 yards. Not good enough. Nothing there. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Have to get across the 20 for a 1st down. Wentz with the 3 receivers out to the far side of the field. Darren Sproles in the game. Sproles has not played much of a part in this game. Wentz back, looking, and he is being hit. He breaks free. He swings it out, and it's incomplete, intended for Sproles, and that will do it for that drive.
I think they're going to call a sack on the play.
I think they are too.
Carson Wentz gets out of the grasp and just tries to sidearm it down the field to Darren Sproles, but it was too late.
It's a loss of 5 yards.
Adrian Claiborne had already been credited for the sack.
Barner deep. Punting from his own end zone is Cameron Johnson. Coming up is Barner at the 40. Barner at the 45, and that's it. Decent punt, good coverage. Zach Brown, the man downfield to make the stop. There's a timeout on the field with the score. The Falcons 17, the Eagles 12 on the Eagles Radio Network. (17-12). Falcons lead. 13:41 to go in regulation. And Atlanta with the football. 1st and 10 at their own 45. Devontae Freeman behind Ryan. Handoff goes to Freeman. Freeman is brought down, but after a pickup of 4 as he weaves his way to the 49-yard line. And Nathan Gary, who a few minutes ago came up with his 2nd career interception, made the stop. Eagles handicapped tonight without Deshaun Jackson, who only was in for a couple of plays, if that, and Alshon Jeffrey. They've had to go deep on the depth chart. A lot of work tonight for the rookie. Arcega-Whiteside and also Matt Hollins. In the gun is Ryan. He backpedals, he fires, he completes it, but for a loss as he got it to Sanu, and Sanu was immediately tripped up by Avonte Maddox. Nice play by Maddox.
Yeah, really good play. Really good penetration at the start of the play that really disrupts this thing and sends Matt Ryan backpedaling. He dumps the ball down to Sanu as a last resort, and then Sanu gets thrown for a loss.
Falcons 3 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. Can the Eagles make them 3 for 9 right here? They split the receivers. Hardy and Sanu to the far side of the field. Jones to the near side. Motion, Sanu. In the gun, Ryan. Here comes the rush. He's hit. He's sacked. The Eagles got him. Andrew Sendejo on the safety blitz.
Great call by Jim Schwartz in this situation. It's a chess match, and he won right there with the safety blitz. Sanu getting to Matty Ice.
That sack brought to you by Steakum, contributing to Stop Hunger in Philadelphia by donating $100 for every sack throughout the season to Philabundance. In the punt, Bosher. In the return, Darren Sproles. It's end over end. Sproles comes up and captures it, catches it, and then he's hit. He was almost tripped. No flag back at the 26-yard line. He came up, made the catch, and then there was some contact on the part of the Falcons.
Pushed into the receiver, no foul.
They say pushed in. There's a timeout on the field with the score. Atlanta's 17, the Eagles 12 on the Eagles Radio Network. Every great quarterback has his rocky stretches, but they find ways to pick it up and save games. That's what Wentz is trying to do right now for the Eagles as he brings them to the line of scrimmage at their own 26. 1st and 10. Wentz in the gun. It's Howard next to him. Wentz fakes to Howard. He's back now. He swings it out to Howard to the 30, and he's banged out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A pickup on the play of 7 yards. Keanu Neal knocks him off.
Yeah, Big Howard is a thumper, and Keanu Neal, he's known to be a thumper as well. And those two guys meet at the sideline, and I think Howard gets the best of that one.
It is 2nd down and 2 up at the 35. 11:20 to go in regulation. Falcons lead it 17-12. Wentz in the gun again. And again he gives it off. And Howard has a 1st down and more as he crawls close to the ground. Now there's a penalty flag. We'll see about that. If it's a hold on the Eagles,
yeah,
I don't blame you if
Holding.
you scream.
That's what it's going to be.
73. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Another one on Ciamalo. That's at least 2 on him tonight.
Boy, as soon as you get something going, and it's really obvious that there's a hole on the play.
No doubt about it. That's not bad officiating. It's bad play.
Bad blocking. Tyler Davison is trying to split that double team, and Ciamalo just wraps him around his neck.
Just like that, it's 2nd down and 12. Howard stays in. Slot to the far side of the field. Wentz in the gun. Wentz backs up, short drop, fires out in the flat, and completes it. And coming up to the 34-yard line with a burst of speed is Nelson Aghalor for a nifty 9 yards, brought down by Ricardo Allen.
This is just receiver quarterback being on the same page. They blitz Carson Wentz. Nelson recognizes the blitz. Carson recognizes the blitz. He gets the ball to Nelly, and they're able to get a positive play in the situation. The Eagles have only converted 4 third-down situations out of 11. This may be the biggest one.
3 receivers right, 1 left. Sproles in the game to the right of Wentz. They have to get up to the 38 for a 1st down. Wentz in the gun, he's back. He's looking, he steps up, he fires, complete. 1st down, Aghalor up near midfield. It was thrown high, but Aghalor climbed the ladder, went up and got it in his hands and brought it down for a 16-yard gain.
Excellent job of breaking open by Nelson Aghalor. And Carson Wentz, he looks to that flat route initially, didn't like that. He finds Aghalor down the field. That's a big play.
Eagles at midfield, 1st and 10, driving to try to take the lead. 9:29 remaining in regulation. Sanders in the game. Wentz in the gun. Slot right. Lone receiver to the near side. Wentz takes the snap, and he gives it off to Sanders. And Sanders doesn't get far. They are right there at the line of scrimmage. Don't blame Sanders. There's not a crack in that line with which he can slide through. 9:06, 9:05. Falcons lead 17-12.
It's Grady Jarrett again, just wrecking things, getting off of blocks, scraping down the line of scrimmage, and making a play.
2nd and 9. 3 receivers to the near side. Sanders stays in. Now Wentz goes along the line of scrimmage, recalling the play. Wentz in the gun. Wentz takes the snap. He screens it out quickly, and running with the football, but not very far, is Mac Hollins. Hollins took the quick screen, but could only pry forward for about 3 yards, and one of the Falcons is slow getting up. Looks like Desmond Trufant. There's a timeout on the field with the score. Atlanta 17, Eagles 12 on the Eagles Radio Network. And this one falls into that category, but you've just got to find a way to gouge out a win. Eagles trail 17-12. 8:22 remaining in regulation. It is 3rd down and 6. Sproles in the game to the right of Wentz. 2 receivers on each side. Wentz in the gun. Wentz takes the snap. Here comes the rush. Wentz fires, complete, 1st down and more. And running with the football and picking it up is Mac Hollins. Hollins not expected to have a lot of duty tonight other than special teams, but he is playing a role with the injuries to Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson And the drive continues down at the 30-yard line.
Hollins made a big play on special teams earlier tonight. This is a big play on third down on a crossing route. Carson slides to his left, hits Mac Hollins, keeps his drive alive, keeping the hopes alive.
It is 1st and 10 at the 30. Jordan Howard back in the game to the right of Wentz. One receiver right, slot to the far side. Give goes to Howard, and Howard pushes forward and manages to get only 2 yards. He was waiting for something to open. He was showing that veteran poise of just biding his time, but there never was a hole, Mike.
Yeah, I like the way he runs the ball. Now, he pushes for 2, maybe
3 yards.
Close to 3, but there's really nothing there.
It is 2nd down and 7 at the 27-yard line of Atlanta. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside out to the far side. 3 receivers to the near side, including Wentz. In the backfield is Sanders. Wentz in the gun. He's back. He's looking. He swings it out to Sanders, who tries to make a man miss, but cannot. Give credit to the Falcons. Foye Oluokun. Foye Oluokun stayed with Sanders and put him down. And now the Eagles face a 3rd down and 9 at the 29-yard line of the Falcons.
Sanders catches that little swing pass, and the linebacker, Oluokun, does an outstanding job in space and getting him to the ground.
Hollins, Aghalor, and Eartz out to the far side of the field. To the near side, Arcega-Whiteside. Sanders in the backfield. Wentz in the gun. He's back. He's looking. Here comes the rush. He steps away. He starts to run. He throws it. He completes it. He's got a 1st down on a diving reception by Hollins. I don't know how he pried himself free, but he got it away. Hollins dove and made the catch at the 12-yard line.
Classic Carson Wentz. That pocket is caving in around him. He steps up in the pocket. He's got Vic Beasley draped all over him, but he stays up and he's able to deliver the ball downfield.
1st and 10 at the 12. They're in the Miele's red zone. Sanders to the right of Wentz. Wentz looks, pumps, fires, and he completes it inside the 10, down at the 8 to Eartz. They're in the Miele's red zone. A $100 donation to Justice Rescue. Miele's furniture, the styles you love for less. Clock showing 5:06. 5:05 remaining in regulation. Eagles trying to take the lead right here. They've got a 2nd and 5 at the Atlanta 7-yard line. Moving left to right here in the 4th quarter. Hollins to the far side. Aghalor in the slot. Arcega-Whiteside to the near side. Sanders in the game to the right of Wentz. Wentz, patient, stamping the right foot, calling for the football. He gives it off, running with the football. Sanders, he is close to a 1st down. He may have it. He may have it. He is very close. John Kaminsky made the stop, but let's see where they spot it. 4:22 remaining in regulation. Falcons 17, Eagles 12.
Yeah, that's a good play call, and this one, I just love to see them just thump right off the snap, try and knock them off of the football and run straight ahead.
Sanders stays in. Wentz under center. Tight formation. Wentz sneaks. Wentz has it. Wentz has the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal. And you know what? There's no need to rush things right here, because the more seconds you can take off the clock, the less time the Falcons are going to have to retaliate if the Eagles score.
This whole possession has been a time-consuming possession. It's been about running time off of the clock and at the same time getting close enough to get a 1st down in the process.
Number 72 is an eligible receiver.
Jordan Howard comes in.
Number 72
This has been
eligible.
a different Carson Wentz here in this half. Wentz under center. Tight formation. Slot to the near side of the field. Aghalor in the slot. Wentz under center. And he sneaks, and he's in. Touchdown. Eagles take the lead. Now there's a penalty flag thrown. Let's see about this.
They're going to call offsides on the defense. This is a touchdown.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense number 98. The penalty is declined. The result of the play.
Eagles take the
Touchdown.
lead 18-17, and they're going, let's see.
They're keeping the offense on the field.
They are. Every Eagles touchdown is proudly driven by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. The Honda Summer Spectacular sales event is on. Find the dealer near you at DelValHondaDealers.com. Eagles 18, Falcons 17. First Eagles lead of the entire game. And they're going to try to go 2 to try to make it a 3-point game. They don't want the Falcons
to win it with a
field goal.
Doug Peterson's going to get a timeout here.
And they will take it.
That's a 13-play drive, Merrill. They covered 73 yards in 8.5 minutes in that possession. Huge possession, and you're so right. You don't need style points. All you need are points.
Stats brought to you by PNC Bank. PNC Bank is committed to helping Philadelphians take the action today so you can reach your financial goals tomorrow. PNC, make today the day.
And the key play in the drive was Carson Wentz with Vic Beasley draped all over him, able to stay up and get the ball downfield to Mac Holland for a huge first down, the biggest first down of the game, and then he's able to sneak it.
Eagles could do nothing right in the first half, but they kept battling, and Carson Wentz has shaken off the problems and is playing with a makeshift cast without 2 of his best receivers available tonight. Jordan Howard to the right of Wentz, standing in the gun. Wentz takes the snap, is back, fires, 2 points, Eartz.
Great play call. You know, when you've got Zach Eartz on the field, you've got to know where he is. The Falcons seem to lose him in coverage, and Carson went to exactly where he wanted to go, and they're in for the extra point.
Timeout on the field with the score. The Eagles 20, Atlanta 17 on the Eagles Radio Network. In the second half, Carson Wentz has shown the grit, the resilience that makes him special. He has brought them back, and now, with 3:13 remaining in regulation, Jake Elliott kicks off high and unreturnably deep. Here's John Russell with an NFL update.
NFC title rematch in Southern Cal. Merrill, Saints and Rams. Drew Brees on the second series would leave with a hand injury. Enter Bridgewater. Rams win at 27-9. You'll have everything Reedman does for you. Reedman sells more, so you save more on every new Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram in stock.
Matt Ryan, who has had his highs and lows in this game, touchdown passes, but 3 interceptions. Lines up the Falcons at the 25-yard line. He's in the gun with his talented receivers split. Ryan back, fires over the middle, diving reception. Devontae Freeman up across the 30 to about the 33, and a pickup of 9. Clock ticking as we go under the 3-minute mark. A field goal will not win it for Atlanta, but they can tie with a field goal. Ryan again is back. Floats it, and it is knocked away by Avonte Maddox from Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah, that is excellent coverage by Avonte Maddox coming underneath that throw. The timing is perfect on the pass. It's a good route, but better coverage on the back end by Avonte Maddox.
It is 3rd and 1 for the Falcons, but this is definitely 4-down territory. They have the ball at the 34. 3 receivers, Ridley, Jones, Sanu, all out to the far side. Ryan puts Sanu in motion. Ryan under center. Ryan, now there's movement. Were the Eagles offsides or were they drawn offsides? The officials will meet. I thought there was a false start. Let's see.
Fletcher Cox is walking back the other way.
No, they're calling it on the Eagles.
Yeah, when I saw Fletcher walking back the other way, I knew.
So the Eagles give the Falcons a gift right there. So they have a 1st and 10. Fresh set of downs up at the 39-yard line with 2:48 remaining in regulation. Ridley and Devontae Freeman split wide to the far side of the field. In the gun is Matt Ryan. Sanu and Jones to the near side. Back goes Ryan again. He pumps, he fires, and it's incomplete. Jones, the ball knocked away from Jones on a good play by Rasul Douglas. It'll be second and 10.
Look, this is great coverage by Rasul, and he doesn't get a flag on this play. There's some hand checking. There's some obvious contact, but not enough to draw a flag. But he does a nice job getting his hand in and avoiding the reception.
The Eagles have come up with 3 interceptions in this game. A 4th would wrap up the win. And the gun is Matt Ryan. It is second and 10 at the 39. Back goes Ryan. He is looking, he is throwing, and it is caught up at the 45-yard line by Sanu. Short of a first down. Avonte Maddox makes the stop, and it will put Atlanta in a 3rd down and 3. Ryan screaming out the play. He's got 2 receivers on each side. He takes the snap. He's looking. He floats it out, and it's incomplete. He wanted Devontae Freeman, but the ball thrown a little wide, and Nigel Bradham came up and put fear into his heart.
I'll tell you what, this is an excellent pass rush. Matt Ryan has to get the football out of his hands. He's very fortunate that Nigel Bradham doesn't pick this one off.
It is 4th down for Atlanta.
They keep moving around Fletcher Cox. He's at one defensive end, then he goes to the other defensive end. He lines up at tackle. Now Brandon Graham's in the game. He'll go down in that tackle spot, but they're moving him around. They're creating pressure on Matt Ryan.
It is 4th down and 3. Empty backfield. Ryan claps his hands. He goes back. Here comes the rush. He fires. He completes it to Jones. 50, 40, 30, 20. Julio Jones, the distance. Falcons have the lead again. 54 yards to Julio Jones. His second touchdown of the game. Eagles blitzed, and the Falcons burned them.
That was huge. And they got the block that they needed. There was one block that Julio Jones needed on the outside. He got that block, and then it was just a foot race, and he outruns the secondary.
So it is 23-20. And the extra point will tell the Eagles that they need a touchdown. Now, there's plenty of time left. This thing is not over yet. This has been a crazy game. Here is the extra point by Matt Bryant to give them a 4-point lead, which he does. Now, Julio Jones, who the Eagles have kept out of the end zone in the past, has had a field day.
He's been there twice tonight, but the key block again was the left tackle. He went out into the flat. When Julio Jones catches this little quick screen, he gets a block from the receiver on the outside, but that key block from the left tackle springs him downfield, and again, he's outrunning the secondary.
So it is 24-20. Junior cheer is back. On Sunday, September 29th, come out for a fun-filled day, including instruction from Eagles cheerleaders, a performance on the field, and more. 2 sessions are available. Get your tickets today at PhiladelphiaEagles.com/JRCheer. Miles Sanders goes back. He is the kickoff return man, and usually Bryant kicks it short, although that's been the case all night. We have 2:10 remaining in regulation. Falcons 24, Eagles 20. And here is another one of those short kicks. Sanders takes it at the 10, up to the 20, to the 25, up to the 30, and down he goes. So the Eagles have some distance to negotiate, but they are still in this thing with 2:03 remaining in regulation, and a touchdown would give them the lead.
Yeah, and what they have to realize is that they don't have to get it all in one play. If they can just take chunks out of this defense, something will break open.
You're absolutely right. Have to like the way they've come to life, but that was a big play. They gambled and lost. In the backfield is Darren Sproles. Wentz lines them up. 1st and 10 at their own 32. Wentz takes the snap. Here comes the rush. He steps up. He lets it fly. Diving reception up at the 40 by Nelson Aghalor, who has had a fine game. And now the 2-minute warning brought to you by Tasty Cake. Make happy happen with your hometown favorite snack, Tasty Cake. There's a Tasty Cake on Facebook today. There is the 2-minute warning with the score. Atlanta 24, the Eagles 20 on the Eagles radio network. The Falcons put the ball in the hands of their most dangerous playmaker, Julio Jones, and he took them to the lead, but we have plenty of time left, 1:58. The Eagles have a 2nd down and 2, the football under 40. Darren Sproles in the game. Wentz in the gun. Slots to either side. Wentz takes the snap, he's back, he's looking, he is firing, and it is incomplete. Right at the point. The ball was right there for Aghalor, and I don't know how it got beyond him. He had beaten the defense. It was there, Mike.
This is exactly what you wanted. Nelson Aghalor going down the sideline. He outruns the defense. The ball goes right through his hands.
That was the game right there, but there's time. There's time. Aghalor's done a lot of good things in this game.
Do it again. Give him that same pass again.
It is 3rd down and 2. Sproles to the left of Wentz. Double wing. Wentz in the gun. Takes the snap. He's back again. He looks. He fires out in the flat. And Sproles has the 1st down. And he's carried out of bounds. But he picks up the 1st down, so there is still life.
He picks up the 1st down. He stops the clock. All the things that you want to do in this situation.
1:47 remaining. 1:47 remaining. Atlanta 24, Eagles 20.
I say give Nelson Aghalor another shot at that because he can get beyond this defense. When you look at all the guys that have gone down, he is the one guy on the field right now that can outrun this defense.
He's out to the far side of the field. 1st and 10 at the Eagles 42. Wentz in the gun. He's back again. Here comes the rush. He steps up. He fires over the middle, and it's dropped. Sproles dropped it. There were Falcons around him, so I don't think the play would have amounted to too much.
But that's what you cannot have. When your quarterback has struggled a large part of the game, now he's seemed to be in a rhythm. You've got to help him out. You've got to catch the ball in these crucial situations.
It is 2nd down and 10. Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. Arcega-Whiteside to the far side. Sproles in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. Wentz takes the snap. Here comes the rush. He goes over the middle. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Eartz. Thrown a little bit high. But it was tough. Yeah. The rush was in his face.
And you don't want to put Zach Eartz in that situation where he's sandwiched between 2 defenders, and he's got to extend.
Starts timeout.
And
Philadelphia, their 2nd.
Allow a guy to put his shoulder pads, his helmet, into the midsection of your #1 target on the field.
Zach Eartz in the past has had his rib problems. Well, he is walking off the field.
And that's why you don't want to put him in that situation against Keanu Neal, known to be a big hitter.
You know, we talked about the fact that Alshon Jeffrey was not available tonight and that Deshaun Jackson was not available after the first couple of plays, and also not available was their other talented tight end, Dallas Goedert. And now the Eagles face a 3rd down and 10. At their own 42, they have to get to the Atlanta 43 for a 47 for a 1st down. They go with a double wing. Eartz is back in the far side slot. Boy, is he tough. Wentz takes the snap. He's looking. He rolls to his left, and he's hit. And down he goes at the 38. He was hit from behind by Vic Beasley. Clock continues to tick. 1:28.
Vic Beasley able to continue to fight, get around Lane Johnson. Eventually, the play just takes too long, and you cannot ask your O-line to hold up for that long. Lane Johnson is fighting off Beasley, but he eventually gets to Carson Wentz and takes him down from behind.
Held it too long. He did, and the Eagles are now out of timeouts. But there's still 1:29 to play in regulation, and if they can somehow pick up this first down, that is going to be tough. You're talking 4th and 14. 4th and 14. They either pick it up or the game is over. Wentz.
Well, and he's got to throw the ball here. There's no holding on to it and waiting too long. You've got to at least get the ball down the field and give your guys an opportunity to make a play.
Atlanta, they're first.
Atlanta takes a timeout, which I think, in this case, benefits the Eagles. It gives them a chance to.
I think you're exactly right. Carson goes over, and he's waving something off to Doug Peterson. They have a quick chat, and I think Carson, looking at the defense, has another play in mind.
You don't think he comes over and says, Philly, Philly? Not in this case.
I thought the same thing.
You know, they're about a mile too far away. Here we go. Hold on. 4th and 14. Have to get to the Falcons 42 or the game is over. 3 receivers right. 1 left. Wentz in the gun. He's back. He's looking. He steps up. He is floating it downfield. He wants Aghalor, who has it inside the 20. Inside the 20. Aghalor went up and got it. It's amazing. Clock ticking. 1:15, 1:14. That was much more difficult than the one he missed. And a Falcon is shaken up, and the Eagles don't have to take a timeout. But back upfield, Jason Peters is hurt.
Now, a lot of bodies dropping in this football game.
What a play by Aghalor.
What a play by Carson Wentz.
Oh, by both of them.
Yeah, I love the play call, but you let Aghalor line up inside of the 3 receivers, and he just goes downfield across the field. Carson Wentz buys a little bit of time, but falling back, he puts his ball in a spot where Aghalor can make the big play.
There are charge timeouts to both teams. Atlanta's 2nd. Philadelphia's 4th.
Jason Peters has gone the distance, but he's slowly limping off the field at this point.
Eagles are in the Mealy's red zone. $100 donation to Justice Rescue. Mealy's Furniture, the styles you love for less. We have 1:11 remaining. Falcons have 1 timeout.
Well, and now you're asking the rookie Andre Dillard to come in for Jason Peters and hold off this fierce pass rush that we've seen all night from the Atlanta Falcons.
That was a 44-yard pass play. And just like that, the Eagles are 18 yards away, seemingly, from victory. Now, I say seemingly because they could score and the Falcons still have time on the clock. But the Falcons only have 1 timeout remaining. Just score, and we'll worry about that later. But the Eagles do have 4 cracks at it. And this place is suddenly quiet. And what was a sloppy, messy game for the longest time has turned into an all-out drama.
Yeah, this 4th quarter has been just filled with excitement.
1:11 remaining in regulation. Atlanta 24, Eagles 20. Wentz lines them up. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Wentz in the gun. Wentz back, looking. He guns it, incomplete. The closest receiver was Hollins, who was yelling that he was held up. But no flag, no call.
Hollins on the right side is trying to run the route that a lot of times we see Zach Ertz running, but he just got held up on the route.
At any rate, it is 2nd and 10.
And Jason Peters returns to the game.
3 receivers right. Eartz out to the left. Sproles to the left of Wentz. Wentz takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. He fires out. Complete to Sproles. Only a pickup of a yard. They have to hurry. He's tackled immediately. Nothing really there. And that will put the Eagles in a 3rd down and 8. They can pick up a 1st down at the 8-yard line. Wentz gets them to the line of scrimmage quickly. Again, 3 receivers to the right. Eartz to the far side of the field. Wentz takes the snap. He's back. He pumps. He looks. He fires high, intended for Eartz on the far side of the field. And it puts the Eagles again into a 4th at the game. 4th at the game right here. Plenty of pressure on Wentz.
Well, he's got on this play Zach Ertz open, but unable to step into the throw. Jason Peters got pushed back just a little bit too far, so Wentz is unable to step in and drive the football where he wants it. The ball sails a little bit and over the head of Zach Ertz.
For the 2nd time in 30 seconds, this is the game. Wentz lines them up with Eartz out to the far side, 3 receivers to the near side. Wentz is back. He's looking. He fires. Complete. Diving forward is Eartz, but I think he's short. I think he's short, and I think the game is over. I think he's a yard short. We're right across from the yard mark, and I think he comes up short.
And you are right. It's the Atlanta Falcons football.
He was a yard, maybe a half yard.
The field is that the receiver was short of the line of game. That ruling is under review.
That will give the Falcons the game unless it is reviewed.
And it will be reviewed, but
now he takes the reception. Now watch where the ball is. He tries to spin away forward, and he does not reach. He does not reach the 1st down yard. This is the AAA official review. No hope here. AAA roadside is their strong side. Make AAA part of your game plan at AAA.com. Boy, it was a valiant effort, but as somebody, I think it was a writer for the New York Star Ledger by the name of Jerry Eisenberg many years ago, said there is no valor in trying. You win or you lose.
yeah, it's being reviewed in the booth, and I think the call that's on the field is going to remain the call that Zach Ertz catches the ball, but he's just shy of the marker. And I don't think it's more than the length of a football.
Oh, it's not.
But he is just shy.
If he had
of a
been able
first
to
down.
back his way forward, but the Falcons had surrounded him and made a great tackle.
Stands. Atlanta football. 1st down.
And this game, with the exception of a kneel down by Matt Ryan, is going to be over. And the Eagles are going to be 1-1. Give them credit. They played a terrible first half. You don't give them credit for that. But they played without some of their best weapons. They played, and Carson Wentz shook off a terrible first half and battled with everything in his body here in this 2nd half and came oh so close, but nevertheless a loss. And as the seconds tick away, the Atlanta Falcons win it 24-20. The big play, Ryan to Julio Jones after the Eagles had finally taken the lead. It was Ryan to Julio Jones, maybe the best player on the entire field.
Yeah,
and he takes it in and wins it.
Carson Wentz 25 of 43 on the night for 231 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, 2 costly interceptions. Matt Ryan 27 of 43, 320 yards. So back-to-back weeks he's 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
The Honda Summer Spectacular sales event is on. Find the dealer near you at DelValHondaDealers.com.
Julio Jones, 5 receptions, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns.
There will be some opportunities missed. One play in particular down the far sideline where it appeared that Nelson Aghalor had a chance to catch it and run into the end zone. However, Nelson came back and made one of the great catches to keep the game alive. They're human beings. They're not machines. Any rebroadcast of this game is expressly prohibited without the advance written permission of the NFL, 94 WIP, and Intercom Communications. Our statistician, Joseph John McPeak. Our spotter, Anthony Bonagora. Stadium engineers, Andy Coffin. Stadium chief engineer, Lane Massey. Director of engineering, Dave Scalish. Engineering supervisor, Ben Hill. Studio engineer, Anthony Foley. Studio producer, Mike Angelina. Studio assistants, Mocha Kravitz and Dan Wilson. And our producer, Joseph A. McPeak. The Honda Summer Spectacular sales event is on. Find the dealer near you at DelValHondaDealers.com. That'll do it for tonight. Not the ending we were hoping for. Next Sunday, the Eagles are home against the Detroit Lions, and Mike and I will be at the link to bring you all the action. Coming up, it's the post-game show with Rob Cherry, Jamal Jackson, and Dan Plecko. Once again, the final score, Atlanta 24, the Eagles 20. For Mike Quick, this is Merrill Reese saying so long from Atlanta, Georgia on the PNC Eagles Football Network.